should have audio going. Let us get video going. Let us get background music going as well. I have finished chapter 2 of Deltarune. I haven't played it since before I streamed the other day before yesterday, but I did get through a bunch of stuff, so I'm speeding on along to the new content. Hopefully I can lift spoilers from myself soon. We gotta clean off this car part before I try to spray it with foot spray again. I went to the supermarket and actually bought it instead of ordering it online. That way it's less jostled around, and I guess then the dip tube will be present in there. It would be really, really funny if I rage quit again, because the thing is broken. If the two cans are broken in the same way, I'm going to call that a statistical anomaly, but I'm still never doing it again. So hopefully this one works. I haven't tested it. Just for the drama. Get a can of Windex. Windex. Where's Windex? All the way over here. Wait. I don't know if I'll want to do like another run of that game. I probably will in the intervening years until the last 2 chapters come out, just to get all the secrets and spoilers and weird stuff. But I did beat Spamton without using his little heal, and it took me 4 or 5 runs. I think it was because I thought I was going to do a run just to get used to the different mechanics, and then that ended up being a successful run. And I guess I've played enough bullet hells with a shooting mechanism, played Mega Man on the 8-bit consoles enough to get through something like that. But that was a little twitchy for my like. I don't like being that twitchy with games. I don't like it. I was enjoying a nice story-driven experience that was kind of chilled, but then that came along. And I had to win. I had to win. I had to beat it. Oh, let's open up YouTube. YouTube. What window? That's it just has to type U into the browser, and that pulls up OBVOD. Close the old YouTube. Open up my own stream because I'm that vain. I am my own viewer, and then let's pop it out. Pop out chat. There we go. So that should run that. Is Twitch chat? Oh, I see Kervos main, and that didn't. I must not have a popped out Twitch chat. Let me pop out a Twitch chat real quick. TW. Twitch.tv/oh bother. Not to be confused with, I guess, a musician that's taken up my moniker somewhere. I guess they can do it. They got the name. What's up, bother in chat? How you doing? How you doing? Let's pop out this the Twitch window. Pop out. Pop out. Pop out. This has been in my head for 2 days. That's why we're listening to it. Pop out chat. There we go. I found it. Pop out chat. There we go. Pop out chat. Pop out chat. All right, there we go. Now I'm ready to go. I think I got my. Oh, Careful Spain did show up in the other window. It's just a big wall of text for me right now. Right. So I am cleaning off the previous foot spray because it was very uneven. I bought a new bottle, and so we can see if the new stuff is going to go on nice and even and give us a scannable surface, essentially. Sleep soon. Hope you're doing good. Hell yeah. Get some sleep, man. Appreciate you. All right, maybe this is too distracting. I need to get something on that's a little bit more background. Maybe I'll just turn it down. There we go. That are probably inaudible to people that aren't using headphones, but I guess that's okay. You guys will have some other media source open other than me. I can just rely on that, especially if you're listening on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't get the music at the beginning of the stream. That's just how it works. That's what we do in order to avoid having copywriters all up in our A something. I should brand my content for kids. No. No, I refuse to not swear. Why did they shape that like that? What the heck? Look at this. Wait, no, actually, we were on the right scene. This is a choice. This thing. Look at that. Why is that like that? I feel like a big gap there. I guess this is what it's doing. 2 things. It's locking in the buttons that sort of press fit in here. So it locks in the buttons and it retains a little bit of flexibility. And then this locks in on the channel that goes around the steering wheel. But like they did it all in one, and I guess this is just a locating peg. Oh no, that's actually the screw hole that the button thing screws into. So it's doing multiple jobs at once. Why am I getting, oh, I'm getting double posts. Where's the other Twitch window? I must not have closed it. Oh yeah, there it is. It's everybody's chats are showing up nice, or twice rather, sorry. Yeah, you're not allowed to use the wrong acronym in here. I put my foot down on that one. I got real sick of correcting people, so I'm just gonna let Automod do it. I've been doing good, Ryan Labs. We've just been doing our thing over here. I was meant to work on Burn the Subs today, but I can't put this to rest, or I have to put this to rest. Well, it's an acronym. It's light amplification of stimulated radiation. Stimulated. Yeah, stimulated, because you stimulate a substrate and it emits radiation. That's what a laser is. The thing that people think a laser is not what a laser is. Columnated light that doesn't deviate is not a laser. It is one of the, I guess it's one of the properties of the laser, but the principal property of the laser is that it's columnated light that's been emitted from a stimulated substrate. Kids watch your stream and immediately get inspired to put a screwdriver into the wall socket. That's not what happens at all. And I even tell people around here, don't mess with anything that's like a wall wart. I mean, if I branded for kids, what kids would be doing is sticking a screwdriver into any piece of consumer electronics that they own, and they would eventually find something that that would hurt them, I'm sure. But not the wall socket. We don't talk about the wall socket. I gotta have principles. Apple slicer without the center blades. What? Wait, hold on. Let's start over here. Let me read some of these comments. Just finished my ad. Salutations. Well, both thank you and I'm sorry about the ad. I wish I could have a completely ad-free experience for everybody here, because ads don't really do much for me. Now, we are obviously watching hashtag AutoCAD ad because they sponsored my copy of AutoCAD, and so I am under obligation to say nothing wrong about them, and I'm under no obligation whatsoever. All I have to do is use their software during a stream, right? That's it. So my positive feelings about AutoCAD are my own. My cautions about it are also my own. But it's a tool that I'm used to using, and it's a tool that I use anyway, so it's pretty much just like a no-brainer to have the AutoCAD ad. So we're just going to exercise that today, because I'm going to be using the software once we get a scan from the CR scan. Just making sure that everything is clean before I get started here. What's that? Made a nice, powerful handheld laser? Wait, whoa, who did? Oh my God, this is, okay, we got to turn off this music. It's super distracting. Get out of here. It's like every single song in the game. Let's do like I'll just do like my definition of chill. We'll do that because that's a little bit more coherent. Flatulent Gonad wants me to repaint this entire thing. Just paint it matte black or something. I don't want to do that though. My definition of chill. Whichever one comes up first. We'll just do that one. Go. The AI tried to tell me a definition of what chill means, the word chill. Okay. Thank you, AI. Please shut up. Turn that down. The clapping is in my brain. Yeah, the old Focusrite input is the one at the very top of my audio mixer, and I don't know how to change that. Okay, so hold on, I'm looking for Soon. How you been? Always forget how to spell it, because the wall socket. But yeah, made a nice, powerful handheld laser. Those are fun, though to be careful. Then Rhine Labs apparently has a 100 watt CO2 60 watt MOPA fiber laser. That sounds fun. Don't place a screwdriver into a UPS. Yeah, that's a very bad idea. What up, Godad? I'm not painting this thing, by the way. No way. I got the right foot powder. I'm just cleaning everything off here. Yeah, the control box for this was actually a power supply, one of two, for a big cutting laser that my friend had at his shop. I went and visited the shop. I hadn't seen him in years. And actually, me and Three Mares visited him at the shop. And he was like, I'm going to be throwing away this giant laser tube. Do you want the power supply? He sounds exactly like that. He was like, I'm going to throw away this laser tube. Do you want the power supply? No, he doesn't sound anything like that. But anyway, he offered me the whole laser tube. And I'm like, this is the size of my brewing table. He's like, yeah, so you can put it on the brewing table. I'm like, no. Like, no, I don't have room for a giant glass tube, even if I'm going to use it as a sculpture. But I took the power supplies, and that's what gave us the enclosure for this steering wheel. Made on It looks pretty fun, though it break a lot of laws. Listen, at least in America, I don't know about where you guys are from, a class like 2 laser, I think you can barely get into class 3 with like 20 milliwatts. That's milliwatts, right? And so if you go and you actually buy like a laser diode or even a laser pointer these days, they're going to be like in the 200 milliwatt range, 300, 400. 1 watt, 800 milliwatts is about what you need to start burning things that are dark tinted, right? A 1 watt laser is what we use on Burn the Subs, and it's able to etch wood. These are violently dangerous lasers, and everybody has them, and you can just buy them on Amazon because all of those laws, because they're technically very illegal. You can do some damage with those things, but they just sell them. They don't care. You know, everybody sells them just because there used to be all these laws around it. Now the technology has passed it so far that they've just become ubiquitous. It's hard to find a 20 milliwatt laser, which is 20 milliwatts is barely visible. That's like giving a presentation, people will be squinting at the board to see where you're pointing it. If I needed to give a presentation these days with like a PowerPoint stack and I wanted to use a laser pointer, I would use a blue one. Not a powerful blue one, mind you, because a powerful blue laser would be blinding for everybody, but pointing at stuff with like a blue dot, that's crazy. People would see that. Yeah, the 5 milliwatt ones. My 100 watt CO2 will go through a 1/2 inch plywood. Yeah, 100 watts is nuts. Painted with lard. No, no, not doing that. I got the foot spray. I'm gonna spray my feet. Oh, I'm gonna spray my feet, Chad. All right, this is like, for some reason, little bits of it still show up even though I've wiped it with a paper towel. Strange. Oh yeah, the other hashtag AutoCAD ad is that the AutoCAD Creators Program made it possible for 3D Connections to send me their gloriously expensive, it's like a $90 CAD mouse. And I have the CAD mouse, and then I have the Space Navigator, and that are both now Bluetooth. And I've got more Bluetooth accessories than I ever wanted to have. I might get a Bluetooth keyboard as well, just to round out all the wireless stuff that I'm now using. It makes no big difference to me, although it does clean up a couple wires here and there. Although the thing is, if you leave it powered on by accident for a week, the battery fully drains, and I don't know why that would be the case. I think Logitech is the one that aggressively turns itself off when you're not using it. This thing takes a second to get back on Bluetooth when you wake it up. The Space Navigator is great in CAD. When you get used to it, it's good. I used it for a little while, and then the one that I have, because I have the original Space Mouse that's just this with a wire coming out of it, I put it on a shelf and didn't use it. Their software is not as comprehensively configurable as I would like it to be. It does have application-specific settings, though, so it can be a pretty useful tool. That's a first-time chatter. Hey, use the USB version. Yeah, then you don't have to remember to turn it off or charge it. Luckily, I mean, there's a big power switch on it, so I can't complain. The Space Navigator, the best use of it for me was playing Kerbal Space Program, because I could navigate into the vehicle and then put struts internally inside of my vehicles. But I don't know. We're gonna try to use it every now and then and just see if we can make it useful. They gave it to me for free, so I might as well give it a try. But yeah, I would love it if their software was as configurable as, say, my SteelSeries software, because the SteelSeries software allows me to configure like macros and stuff to center buttons, and you can do complicated LED animations and all kinds of weird stuff with your mouse. I'm not that much of a power user of this kind of thing though, so we're just going to try out this mouse on this computer for a little while and just see if we love it. In ZBrush, it's a must. We're going to use something like ZBrush type tools today. I'm going to use the forming tools in AutoCAD, which is essentially you have a block of silly putty and you're supposed to form something with it. Hello, isn't this suitable for CAD software? Yeah, it's literally called the CAD mouse. CAD mouse. You don't need it for CAD. Let me be clear. My usage of Fiusion360 did not need these tools. I was using a normal mouse and used Control and Shift to kind of lock your different movement types, and that allows you to move around objects with relative ease. So having the puck is not necessary for CAD. It's helpful. It can be helpful. Depends on how you use your tools. The CAD mouse has a center button. I don't really need this. I'm not down with the center button. But other than that, it's a fairly normal Microsoft style mouse with an extra button. And then the center button here, instead of switching between different DPI that your normal gaming mouse would do, instead this opens a menu that allows you to select sometimes application specific features. And then I think you can configure those in the software. But yeah, that's the lot of that. I got sent free stuff, so I give credit. You guys know I'm always thanking Wexo for the stuff that he sent in unprompted. And we have the Creality CR scan, which I should have gotten for free. I should have gotten this for free because the Fiusion360 guys were like, we got a couple of these that we want to distribute so that you guys use them. And I was like, no, I don't need that. And then here comes the steering wheel project. And I had a big birthday, a big milestone birthday. And I was like, I'm going to spend a little bit of money on something that I may need every now and then. So this thing mostly sits in the cabinet. We did a nice detailed scan of this. And so that's all we had going for it. But now we're trying to scan a car part. It's essentially this bevel on the steering wheel. We will eventually ascertain the distance to the airbag actuator. We want to leave 1 millimeter standoff from this thing. But what I'd like to do is get a detailed scan of this part. And in order to do that, since it's chrome, the little laser, what is that called again? Diffraction thing. It's it makes a dot field, like a random dot field that is then used for time of flight distance measurement calculation. Those little laser dots can hit this and then bounce over to here and make weird illumination that'll confuse the camera. So what we need to do is we need to spray this thing to make it matte, M-A-T-T-E, not your buddy Matt. We need to make it matte colored so that that light stays where it is. It doesn't go anywhere else. There are sprays, but those sprays are like $20 to $40 a can. This is $9 US dollars in current regime money. We're not yet wallpapering our walls with dollar bills, but we'll get there. Anyway, so the foot spray that I got online came in the mail and didn't work, and we rage quit. I rage quit that stream. It was a 2 3/4 of an hour stream. I like to do at least 3. I'm not under any obligation, I don't think. I've kind of read through all the stuff. They're not going to take my partnership away. But, you know, I like to give it a couple hours for each stream. This is the part of the song that I really hate, where there's like whispers and stuff. It makes you feel schizophrenic. But so we got to the point where we tried spraying and spraying and spraying, but because I ordered it online, it essentially went through a tumble dryer. And when it got here, apparently the dip tube, the tube that's supposed to go down here and actually get product when you press the thing, instead of just gas at the top, was getting gas at the top. Apparently the tube must have slipped out. So we're gonna try this one. This one has not been through a tumble dryer. It was shipped in bulk to the grocery store that I bought it from, which is up the street. So this went from shelf to bag to my floor, well, to my car, to my floor, and now it's here. So it should work by all means. I almost bought a TIG welder. Guy wanted $500 and was 20 plus years old. That's tough. 20 years old, you don't really know where the rust is going to be. Oh, let's get rid of the trigger warning. Sorry. Wait, how long did I have that up, or did I just reactivate it somehow? Weird. I shouldn't have had that up. Anyway, yeah, welders. Are welders like any other subset of tools, like vices and stuff, where you get it from somebody who hasn't needed it in 25 years and it's like a great tool because it's been made to old standards instead of new standards? Are welders like that? I guess they can be. Although there's all kinds of technology in welding now, right? Like pulses and all kinds of vibrator settings that you can set them to for whatever. You set it to like super pleasure and your welder does like cool stuff. It like on and off does little taps of voltage. We're going to try the forming tools in Fiusion360. The forming tools are much like Blender, only a little bit more engineering and more limited. More limited than Blender. But the forming tools, you start out with a blob and you shape that blob into your desired thing, right? And it makes an enclosed 3D solid that you can then export to like 3D printing and blah, 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 blah. I've seen the forming tool being used on car bodies a lot, and I'd like to sort of get to know it and figure out how to use it. It does not use 3-point vectors, it uses 4-point vectors. Do you know Rhino? I do not know Rhino. I tried. The buddy who I got that laser power supply from, the very same college buddy of mine, loves Rhino. He loves Rhino. I don't do Rhino. I don't really know Rhino that well. I know it's like hardcore CAD software, but other than that, I've looked at the UI before and went, huh, and then that was my entire, it was like half an hour of experience with Rhino. I am a Fiusion360 head. I was an AutoCAD head, whatever you want to call it. AutoCAD was the darling of the sort of DIY part of electronics. And so I got to know it purely from an I want a circuit board standpoint. And that was great. I had a really good copy of Eagle that was provided to me by a contractor, contractee, I don't know. Anyway, they provided me with a really good copy and I used that in perpetuity. I had comments on Reddit of people, look at this guy with a professional version. I'm like, look, come on. Because it told you in the upper corner. I was like, all right, I'm going to be more careful with my screenshots. But then I learned AutoCAD in college. We had an engineering 101 course. It covered a bunch of different stuff. We were using the command line at that point. AutoCAD is French. I don't know. I'm not sure. The coordinator that I spoke with for Fiusion360 is, I believe, an American. But I don't know the rest of the company. I don't know. Anyway, I cut my teeth in AutoCAD, right? That was the three-dimensional CAD that I was used to. Went through many, many years of not needing it. Then finally, 3D printers came along. And I was like, well, what should I use? Open up Rhino. I went, and closed it. FreeCAD, opened that up. I went, and closed it. And so then I found out that Eagle was bought by AutoCAD and rolled into Fiusion360. Fiusion360 is electronics CAD with three-dimensional CAD. And so even if you're very limited in the use of Fusion, their interface is very simple on the surface and you dig in to get to the layers, right? So I was able to actually just design a circuit board, pull that into the 3D stuff, and then design a solid around it. It's very freeing to be able to do that actually all in one program. You can do it in the free stuff. You can do it in FreeCAD or whatever, the free circuit design software and CAD stuff. You can tell when somebody's using those, but they are functional in that regard. It's just, I want to get to know Fusion a little better. So I want to kind of branch out and do some stuff with the forums and figure out where stuff is. Because I see when we were looking at the Honda City car, I think it was called, concept, there were a bunch of photos of them working on it, and they were using some subset of AutoCAD that was meant for vehicle design. It was pretty cool. Too expensive for my blood. Not sure if I have a copy of it. It's possible. My Fusion license has gotten quite privileged as of late, just because I was contacted by these guys. I uploaded all of my old streams, and they found out that I was using their software, and they said, "Ooh, let's roll them into the program." And that was right when my educational license was expiring because they actually asked me for credentials for once. I was like, oh man, the jig is up. I no longer have my college copy 20 years later. So anyway, so I got right when my educational copy expired, they rolled me into the creators program. So I got all the features again. Now I try to use Fiusion360 in a very, very limited capacity because the free version has limitations on it, and I don't want to get outside of those limitations. But I don't know what the free version limitations are anymore. They've changed things subtly. I should probably sign up for an anonymous copy and try to use it because I don't know where the buck stops. I'm like, let's do generative design now, and like that's probably a little expensive in the grand scheme of things. If you're like a big company who's using it, it's yeah, I become drunk with luxury. This is not comfortable enough. Ring a bell, garçon. So yeah, if I don't know what I'm getting outside of the purview of free Fiusion360. I should probably get an anonymous copy and like tootle around with it and see what happens. But anyway, I do want to learn some of these features, so that's why we're doing this today. We're revisiting the Rage Quit, and we're going to spray this thing with the foot spray because we're perverts, and then I'll see if it scans, and then we can try to design something around it. But that's the story of Fiusion360. That's why this is a hashtag AutoCAD ad, because I am going to be using their software. I'm allowed to be negative about their software. I'm not under any obligation to say positive or negative for them. I am generally positive about Fiusion360 though. You can learn all those other tools and you'll be totally fine. I'm used to the workflow. And having sort of that timeline-based design is nice because we iterate a lot. And iterate is what you call a fuck up, basically in engineering parlance. If you're talking to your boss, you don't say, I fucked up. You don't do that. You go, we're getting through the design iteratively. And that apparently, in regards to jargonizing what you're saying, sort of smooths over the bumps in the road. And having a timeline allows me to go into previous steps and fix the fuck ups. I mean, iterate on different dimensions. So it's pretty good. I like it. I like being able to do that. I'm sure something like that exists in other softwares, but Fiusion360 is what I know. It's what I know. Oh, how's everybody else's Wednesday? It's getting toasty here in the Philly burbs. What's the temperature supposed to be? Hold on, merry sky. I can't show you guys this. Gonna open this up and figure out what it's like in wherever the fuck that is. Where is that? Allow my location this one time. One last time. All right, there we go. Okay, so it is 80 something, 83 degrees here. And it's supposed to be getting up to 80, only 87? It does not feel like 87 degrees here. It does not feel like that. It is highly moist. How's everybody's Wednesday going? It's Thursday. I was asking what you guys got up to on Wednesday. I don't know how I worded it. I probably worded it confusingly. But in my brain, that's what I was saying. Where is the UV index is 6.9, 54% humidity. How does it feels worse than that. The dew point is 65 degrees. Shit. Yeah, it feels like more than 80. I guess the sun's pretty strong. We've got some of that insidious Canadian tree dust in the air. So it's a little bit hazy, and it's been a little bit hazy for like a week. Yeah, man. Yeah, and also, if I asked how people's Wednesdays are, thinking that it's Wednesday, I think that's totally appropriate because of how stressed out I am with current events. Things have been blurring together a little bit. But we're going to put the blinders on and work on fun little engineering things. Let me boot up Fiusion360 before stream starts. Back to work. All right. Thanks for hanging out. It is Thursday. It is Thursday. We are doing a Thursday stream. I do not stream on Wednesdays. That used to be to give other people a break from a bother, because apparently I was getting a little big for my britches in terms of like the people that were working on that we knew of that were doing like project streams. I was getting a little big for my britches, and so when I decided my schedule, I said, why don't I leave a day in the middle? I can order parts, and I can give other streamers a chance to get that that Wednesday momentum going into their streams. That wasn't entirely my decision. Most of my decision was just I need to choose 3 days a week, and I don't want to. I want to be able to watch at least one of the pre-recorded live streams. But again, I also just said, you know what? Let's not do Wednesday because other streamers should get a little limelight. What are we saying? Why miniature factories aren't mainstream yet? Miniature factories aren't mainstream yet. I mean, all of the SLI or whatever, the ultraviolet printers are nothing but figurines. They're nothing but miniatures. That's like the primary. That's like a primary advertisement of those printing tools. Whoa. Document recovery. This thing apparently shut down in the middle of the night. Do we need it? I'll pull it back up. My coworker uses his resin. Yeah, exclusively. A new version of Fusion. I knew this would happen. It just keeps happening. Update now. I don't know if we'll continue with this file. I think we'll start a new file because I want to use the form tools. I made latches with a resin printer. Latches? What are you latching? I don't want to know. Pervert. No, so I have not had many uses for the resin printer, and actually, come to think of it, I forgot to clean up my resin printer. It's had resin in it for like a month, more than a month. Uh-oh. Oh, my computer has suddenly slowed down quite a bit. Whoa, there we go. Okay, OBS is taking a backseat to Fiusion360's updating on a relatively slow streaming computer. This is not good. One day I will gift myself a more modern set of hardware for my streaming computer. Once you learn something, they update and go. Wait, are you talking about something else? With Fusion, I've found the changes to Fusion to be subtle enough that they don't affect my workflow. I'm not a fan of how brittle the parts are. You have to get into some real like voodoo crap in order to get like strong parts, and you get into some resins that are not good. They're not good. They're not good for you. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, everything is just slow. This computer has too much stuff going on. Chrome, you've taken too much. Make sure that none of my windows go to sleep here. Nobody goes to sleep while the updates are performed, because Chrome will start parking tabs. Whoa, boy. Okay, all right. This is getting a little crazy. You are literally just downloading a file. Why are you doing this to me? Why don't we close the file? Oh, because it's not going to do anything when I click the Xbox. We're waiting. You guys, hopefully you're getting up-to-date audio, but the video is quite delayed. Oh, Jesus. Unlock more with Fusion extensions. All of these are active. Oh my God. All of these are active. Signal integrity, manage, design, simulation, automate complex geometry, and enhance the performance and aesthetics of your products. Oh, geez. Manufacturing. Unlock additional capabilities for 3 to 5 axis CNC milling. What? Yeah, these are, I don't know. I might actually get these. Optimize PCB design electronics performance by controlling the impedance of critical transmission lines. It says active. I don't know if that means I just have access to it. Oh my God. So we could get real crazy with our signaling. I do want to build the what is it? The DSP adapter so that I can have a logic analyzer here, because this requires these dual signal like signal thingies in order to do logic analysis. And what I'd like to do is make a single PCB and then have 2 IDC headers that sit on the front of this thing. I don't know if that's the way that it's really supposed to be built. I think that it's supposed to have a cable and then the cable has a PCB at the end of it that has all those little converters. But I just want to put it in there. If you really want super duper fast logic analysis, you could slide your thing all the way up to the scope and then have short wires connecting everybody. Or you could plug in IDC cables directly into here, but then you lose a lot of signal integrity. It's that differential signal that they want into the scope. The reason Rigel uses it, aside from making you buy a dongle, is probably so that you can have a wire that comes all the way out to the thing you're analyzing, and then you would have your dual signal jimmy jams all the way out here. But then you can get extremely fast logic analysis if you have it directly up against the scope. So I don't know if I necessarily want that speed, but we could analyze it certainly with this stuff. Let's close that. I'm not going to be using those because, again, I want this to be a similar experience to the free version. All right, let's close the steering wheel one so we can free up some RAM. It's not going to respond. I'm just going to leave it alone. It's downloading another version, so my video's delayed. My audio's probably okay. I wonder why you don't start a space program. You know, I'm a little bit overweight to be sending myself into space. It's like that flat earther that got funding from the flat earth people. I think all they wanted to do was sit in a rocket. BNC over 100 megahertz isn't great. It wouldn't be BNC, it would be a IDC cable. You plug it into the IDC header over here. Once you learn something, they update it, and you got to relearn. What? I don't know what I'm not learning. I'm learning plenty of stuff. Okay, what's doing, Fusion? What are you doing? New version's ready to install. Oh, okay, there we go. So apparently it finished. I didn't see where the progress bar was. Whoa, come on, you can do it. There we go. Cancel the jobs. Oh, is that just gonna cancel restarting? Yeah, I think it does. Restart Fusion. Use the foot spray streamer. Okay, so this chat window did not come back. I hate it when they do this. Can I clear the chat? What did that do? That's forcing scroll to bottom. Reload. Can I reload without, or can I refresh the cache on a Chrome tab? How do you do that? All I've got, the only control that I've really got is reload, duplicate pin, mute site, close tabs, send to my devices. Yeah, there's not much option here. I guess I can do SSC, Social Stream Ninja. Is that going to load it fresh? That might. It's trying to go there. There we go. So then just in case, I'm going to hit test over here. Yeah, it didn't come through. God, that's so annoying. It's so annoying. I use Social Stream Ninja, and sometimes Chrome will park a tab because the RAM that it's using is like too much. So what happens is this thing doesn't update anymore, and every time I reload it, it reloads from cache. So I don't get an update for some reason. Ran out of screws for the rack. I had to order more. I thought you did that last time. And you're ordering like 250 million fasteners. What the hell? I just hit reload and everything went blank. Oh, because Autodesk is starting up. This is why we're starting Autodesk before the stream actually starts, so that I can sort out things like this, where they've put me in purgatory. Oh, here we go. We're back. Ran out of drop-in nuts. Ah, jeez. Okay, so why isn't the Social Stream Blade doing its thing? Because my pop-out for Twitch is doing its thing. My chat in here is doing its thing. It's the one on my monitor that's not updating. And it's kind of weird that it's not updating. There we go. Relaunch to update. No, thank you. Tab groups, extensions, delete browsing data. More tools. Task manager, developer tools. I don't know. Performance. Inactive tabs appearance, a dotted circle. Oh, so there's actually an icon for inactive tabs. Always keep the sites alive. Sites that you will always want to stay active. All right, so let's add that, and we'll add Social Stream Ninja to that one. Yeah, always keep that one alive, and then probably YouTube as well as Twitch TV. Dashboard.twitch.tv cannot, that can lag behind. So let's add those. It'll probably affect my the audio that's playing, but we'll see if those then. Oh, here we go. So there's the SpeedyCat message. It's a beefy servo. That's my steering wheel project. It's a half a horsepower Mitsubishi Mel servo. The Mel servo has an like a CD style optical encoder on the back, like a CD-ROM style. It's got dots on a plastic disc, microscopic dots that it reads as it turns. Very accurate, but you can rip it off with a shaft and you can replace it with one of those Canadian, capacitive position sensors, which are less sensitive, but they're more universal and they're more known. And so I've plugged all that into a, what is it called again? Granite Devices controller, which is just part of it's a subset of the Open Wheel project. I'm considering whether or not I want to flash that thing back to Open Wheel, and then I could undo some of the kind of crazy shit that we did inside of the steering wheel. We did a lot of kind of mad engineering in order to get the Granite Devices controller working, but I think the Open Wheel project, because again, Granite Devices has abandoned their universal controller. There just weren't enough people that were building them, right? Windows 10 will no longer be supported. Fusion product support will require Windows 11. Oh, great. Is Fusion really going to push me into Windows 11 on this computer? No. I really would like a Linux version on this crap. Really would like a Linux version, please. But anywho, a lot of stuff went into that wheel. A lot of weird stuff. Why is my performance weird? What is using all of my RAM right now? What's using all of my, not ample, but somewhat plentiful RAM? 100% CPU for Autodesk. What are you doing? OBS is allowed to use half of my CPU, I suppose. I think I need to upgrade this computer. I think I need to upgrade this computer because it's kind of pathetic. Yeah, Fusion forcing Windows 11 is not a good thing. I don't like that. I mean, I guess it'll probably still kind of work unsupported. I think Fusion has a browser version of it that you could probably use, although I don't know how slow that would be. That would probably be pretty frustrating. Yes, I do an hour pre-stream because I have a lot on my mind. A lot going on these days. I try to limit it to an hour, but I mean, just sitting here and climatizing and getting used to streaming and getting used to my theater voice and getting all my ducks in a row. You can see I'm still getting ducks in a row. I just barely got Fusion running properly a minute ago. I don't use it, so no worries here. Well, that's a nothing. That's nothing. That's like TV static. Like, you haven't contributed anything. Nobody asked, you know? What is in Windows 11 that 10 doesn't have? Significantly more tracking functions. Even though Windows 10 is rife with them. And what was the hardware proving thing? The thing that proves that your hardware is genuine, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And Copilot. Google's AI has done quite a lot to convince people that AI is dog shit. Because, like, if you know a subject with any sort of if you comprehensively know any sort of subject, if you know a little bit more than just what's on the surface, and you look at the results that you get through Google's AI is more often completely wrong about everything that it talks about. But it's so much so that normal people who would not notice things like ChatGPT giving them lies have noticed, well, that Google AI is wrong a lot. And so they're starting to realize the fallacy of trusting somebody to know a subject and give you proper information. It's without researching or doing at least a modicum of looking into what the answer entails. It's a tough thing because it's like, that's a thing that scientists do. So you're starting to learn why everybody thought you were stupid for questioning scientists. It says a lot of things that are correct. It gets answers very quickly, but it requires sifting, and Google double the amount of sifting. Yeah, it sounds great because it's a language model. It's not an information model. It's crazy. It's crazy about that. And so all these people that have been trusting AI like carte blanche, I hope it can shed some light on it for these people. You know? Behold Bother's theater voice. My normal conversation voice, my talking to people around me voice is different from when I'm streaming. I'm emphasizing a lot of the stuff that I say. I'm exaggerating. It is just part of media. That's just what you got to do. The only reason that I know to do this is that I did stage crew a lot, and I did quite a lot of improv. Improv isn't funny, but it is fun to participate in. Watching improv is torture, but participating in improv is fun. What's up? It's your boy. Or, hello there. I'm a bother. Or all the people trying to do like a Scottish accent to be like Scott Manley. Every time I'd look up a tutorial for like space engineers and Kerbal, I would get the hello there. Everybody's trying to be him. Improv sounds great, but it isn't. It's like going to an improv show. Oh, I cringe into non-existence. It's not funny, but it's good training for being like on a radio show or, you know, being in media, because you do need to exaggerate your mannerisms and stuff quite a bit. I'm a little bit too tamped down even, but I'm kind of hinging on that as being like, this is a chill stream. We don't really yell all that much. I mean, sometimes I do yell, but I'm not always yelling. I'm not like the Milton T. Pikes where he's flipping out and everybody's laughing and it's great. But I am more exaggerated than how I normally act. I got all of the rails spaced and bolted. Oh, and bolted in. Now though. Read the whole sentence, Father. Just read it like a normal person. I got all the rails spaced and bolted in now, though. I still need to attach the screw points for the modules. I don't know. I'm gonna say it. That thing is overbuilt. You could park a car on top of that thing and it wouldn't distort. We're talking about little flimsy little plastic modules that are gonna go onto a rack. It doesn't need to be a machine rack. You're building it like a machine rack. It is way too strong for its own good. That's fine, but man, that's a lot of work and a lot of parts. I certainly would be reducing the numbers and trying to take shortcuts. Yeah, you have everything built. It's crazy. That'll be cool. You got to figure out a couple modules to put into it too. That's the expensive part. All this work you're doing on the rails pales in comparison to the amount of monetary value that the equipment is going to hold in that system. It's crazy. All right. Wait a minute. Where are the form tools? That's my stuff. Design, electronics, new drawing, new template, open, upload, save, export, print, capture, view. Solid surface mesh, sheet metal, plastic, utilities managed. Mesh. Oh, it's in solid. Okay, there it is. Yep, and then there's the form tools. Okay, I found them. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. what just happened right there? That's what I'm talking about. The form tools are in a sub-menu. I mean, they're, you know, it's pretty easy to find once you know where it is. It's just that you gotta peel back the layers of the onion. Fiusion360 is like ogres. Streamer, get the foot powder. I have to 3D scan something. This is not an ad for OdorX. This is, however, a sponsored Fiusion360 copy. So if we get into some of the more advanced tools that it has, hopefully we won't, it's possible that I go beyond the free version of Fiusion360. And if I do, I would love it for experts to point it out, because I haven't had a lot of experience with the free version of the software as to date. I should get an anonymous copy and roll back to the free version, because if I am going to properly represent this program that a lot of people could potentially use, seeing as I'm an influencer and I've got really good pronunciation of stuff. If I'm going to be influencing people to use this software free and not spend money on it, I don't want to show off a feature that they're going to expect to be in there, and then they open the software and, oh, I have to pay in order to use that. I don't want that to happen. So at some point I'll have to evaluate. I'll have to do a little retrospection. All right, let's turn the volume down on this. This mix is almost over anyway. Okay, I meant to do that gradually, but then I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, cool. Did I mention the production value on my stream? Everybody wants me to be a buffoon. I'll prove them wrong. Anyway, hi. Welcome to Oh Bother. This is my stream where I do stuff. So I am going to try to get a good 3D scan for the steering wheel. But Bother, you tried that last time. Yeah, I did. I rage quit. And the reason that I rage quit is because of foot powder. Because of foot powder. All of this boils down to the foot powder. The foot powder is behind all of this. Watched a video linked by Short Lurker when I was talking about using chalk spray. I sprayed my chalk. He said chalk on stream. I sprayed my chalk. I got it all over my chalk. Wait. Yeah, I tried chalk spray because I thought this would be perfectly matte. But it only comes in light colors. This doesn't come in like a black. So I couldn't get a matte surface that the 3D dots would really bounce off of nicely. We tried one scan of it and it seemed a little dodgy. I did this off air, by the way. I put the little dots down on top of the chalk and it's still... Thanks for blowing up my followers list Twitch. Oh, they do that every now and then. Chalk spray didn't really work, and so Short Lurker, when I was bitching about it in my Discord, Short Lurker linked me to a YouTube video where they tried a bunch of different of these sprays. These sprays are designed for things that are hard to 3D scan. If you have something that's a little bit reflective, the 3D scanner dots don't really like being where they should be. When they are where they should be, the 3D scanner is able to ascertain a field of points that have a distance rating for the lens, and all the lens correction goes into that, and blah, 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 blah. So if you have something like chrome, you could potentially have, like here, on these scissors, these are chromed. And so if you have a laser light, where'd my laser go? Merge, where's my laser? Where's my laser? Made it onto another desk. It's supposed to be right here because of little explanations like this. It probably got pushed behind a bunch of stuff and now it's somewhere in the fray. All right, never mind. But if you have, let's say, a point of laser light, like a little tiny point of laser light, it can come in here and it can hit one of these facets and then reflect over to another one of the facets and then show up on the cameras in a place where it shouldn't be, moving in a way that it shouldn't be. And so those points are all going to kind of compound with each other and just create terribleness, right? So a streamer, a YouTuber rather, tried a bunch of the different $40 to $60, 30, they're like $20 to $40 3D scanning sprays. But then they threw this thing in there, right? They threw in autocad, Dr. Scholl's ultra fighting all day, etc., pervert powder. It's foot spray. What it's designed to do is be kind of like Gold Bond and just keep you from moistening yourself. We're going to try this. I mean, I probably could go get Gold Bond and try that too. I have an old thing of Gold Bond that actually has talc in it. But yeah, anyway, I use Asus Zyton, the Kinect controller. I have the Kinect control. I have both versions of the Kinect. That thing is a really good webcam, and I want to get it working on my other computer as a webcam. We have this really cool like cyber webcam where I was just a point cloud, and we were able to actually get a camera angle that was not existent. It was like the camera was 3 feet from where it should be. It's a cool thing. That was really fun. We tried the Zitchen can scan and color. So we tried a whole bunch of different technologies, right? Wait, why is my mouse not moving? Oh, there's just a hiccup. The issue for me is cost. I don't do commercial work, so $85 a month without extensions is a bit out of my price range. They're asking 14. Wait, what? For Fusion, you don't need all that stuff to do the cool stuff in Fusion. You don't need to pay for it. That you can get a lot done around the sort of limitations. I'm trying to intro my stream, and you guys are asking me these fucking. All right. So for a birthday gift, I bought myself a CR scan. It turns out I could have gotten one of these for free, but I missed the boat on that one because I thought that I didn't need it. This bevel on the steering wheel is where the airbag should go. The airbag goes in this gaping hole right here, and that goes on the steering wheel project. And so the steering wheel project just had this big gaping hole. Now we can put whatever we want here. I don't need to put a Mercedes airbag. Mercedes airbag was essentially the cost of the CR scan. They're equal in dollar value. I couldn't really find a cover on eBay because the times when a Mercedes airbag cover becomes available are precisely when it gets fucking destroyed, right? So, is Twitch doing weird stuff? The airbag goes off, it destroys that cover. So they're not really that available online. This is a refurbished steering wheel from a Mercedes S-Class, I think. I forget exactly which one it was. I used to know, I forgot. But this was like the inception of the steering wheel project. I coupled it with a Granite Devices controller and a Mitsubishi Mel servo. So these are all old parts. All of them, well, this is refurbished, but it's still, everything is old parts. So anyway, what I'd like to do is get a good scan going of this thing. This is chrome. Chrome is reflective. So the chrome, even if it's matte, it sort of bounces around these areas a little bit and creates less of an accurate scan. The other thing is I want to make sure that the CR scan can pick up this bevel here, because this bevel there is important for keeping the steering wheel from moving around, and it kind of like, I don't know, maybe it makes a little dust seal, but it's part of sort of like the positioning of the steering wheel when you're honking the horn. So I want to take a look and make sure that that comes through. So we're going to try the foot spray and see how effective it is. And then I would like to try using the form tools in Fiusion360. In Fiusion360, we can do something akin to what Blender does, but in more of an engineering perspective using forms. Forms are quads. They're not what is it called? There's the points and then there's the vectors, right? Is that how that works? You have 3 vectors to a node. In the form tool, you have 4 vectors to a node. So it's like a grid over everything. And apparently that gives you, I don't know, better control. We'll see. Honking is the most important feature on the car. Yeah, there you go. What wheel is from? I literally just said a Mercedes S-Class. It's a Mercedes S-Class, I think. It's got paddles. It has a bunch of buttons, which is why I bought it many, many years ago. I bought it because it literally has an up, down, left, and right button, which we can use. We had to hack into it using the LIN bus, the LIN bus protocol. Polygon mesh. Yeah, mesh maybe is what I'm looking for. Okay, what was being asked here? Any tips on removing a tiny bit of the outside diameter of an aluminum tube? It's 6 millimeters. I need it to be like 5.95. I was thinking of putting it in my drill and running it along my belt grinder at low speeds. You'll remove way too much material. Not sure how safe it would be and if my PPE is enough. If your PP is big enough, you could try that, but I wouldn't be using the belt sander like that. The belt sander's 0.05 of a millimeter is not a lot. It's gonna, an airbag cover would cost an arm and a leg. It's about $300. and or renting a Mercedes and crashing it. But so a cylinder, I mean, obviously I'm going to say a lathe. You can use the, kind of ghetto lathe of putting it into a drill. That will get you a little bit of a uniform reduction. And if you use just a piece of sandpaper with the drill, and if it's a high grit sandpaper, you shouldn't remove too much and it should be kind of even, but you might be sacrificing the overall roundness of that bar stock. But if you're not shooting to be click spring, then that can get you by. Just hand drill, little piece of sandpaper, light pressure. You're not going to rip your arm off. If you have a mill though, if you have a lathe or access to a lathe, that's going to do the best job. But yeah, anywho. What you'll need to do is make a ball mill, like inheritance machining. You gotta make that part, spending weeks and weeks engineering and and then you can literally just press the aluminum in tighter. 0.05 of a millimeter. I mean, that is, and at 0.025 of a millimeter is what you'll be removing from the outer diameter. So that's 0.025. I can't even represent that on this caliper. 0.02 of a millimeter is an error. So if you put it into, then again, if you're using any kind of a sander, you have to be very careful. Get a very high grit sandpaper. That's 0.2, not 0.02. You see, you're removing less than a hair's width from this fucking thing. Yeah, that's beyond press fittable. Those are $200 calipers. What are you talking? Oh, you're talking about the multi-message messages, guys. If you want to guarantee that I get in on the conversation late, you guys need to be hitting the enter button less, actually more. 1 word per comment. That way my chat looks like it's moving. I've read the streamer brain got in there. Logic brain said, hey, tell them to make their messages coherent in one sentence. And then streamer brain went, no, let them do multiple messages. It makes chat look active. Let's see. Build a ball mill quick. PU foam it and then sand it down. What is PU foam? Sounds like stinky foam. It's enough to prevent the tube from getting into my bearing. Are you calling my calipers $200 calipers? They're not. Maybe with like export costs these days. All right, so foot powder. We already know everything about it because all I could do last stream was go into all the different facets of how this thing worked, and we explored how the top works and how it's sort of engineered, but all of that was for naught because the thing couldn't spray in the first place. We had to troubleshoot a spray can. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. That's not true. But all right, so sacrificial box, car part, foot spray. Let's give this stuff a try. It is going to get stinky in here. Get foot stinky. So already this thing is way better. Oh yeah. All right, that's getting to be too much. Stop it with the farts. What's wrong with you people? Hey, that's pretty good. It takes a second for it to kind of ramp up, but it goes on dry. Never ask them to stop. It doesn't work. They don't do that. All right, that's getting carried away. I was too close for that. Okay, so the distance really does matter because it'll tend to orange peel when you get too close. That was a nice coat. Sure does take a second to ramp up. Yeah, really weird, right? Yeah, $140 is about what the cost of the calipers is. That's kind of a reasonable cost for the amount of usage that you get out of a good pair of Mitutoyos. Now, it is a little stinky. It smells like a shoe store. But the smell dissipates quite quickly. I returned to the shop after doing the foot spray stream, and the smell had already gone away. It smelled like my wet farts. So there's the orange peeling that I got, but the other areas are looking pretty good. There's a little bit of weirdness over there, but overall, I mean, it's creating a matte gray surface out of our chromed steering. Where's my focal point? There we go. It's a matte gray surface as opposed to a chrome finish. A little thin in some areas. I wonder if I could do like another coat. Like there's a little thin. I don't know if I need to. We're not trying to get like a perfect coat of paint. We're just trying to tamp some of the reflective properties of this thing. And we've already got matte chrome, and I went over this area double just to make sure that we wouldn't get too many reflecting points. I think that worked pretty well. You just want to smell more foot spray. Pervert. This is... Okay. That did way better than yesterday, or the other day. I'm going to put the box aside. I think that's a success. I'm going to try not to touch the top surface. But that stuff smells like a locker. It smells like a cross between a locker and a shoe store. Blech. We're going to try to get a good scan going from this. Oh, the scanner's going to use even more of this computer's reason. This computer is in rough shape. I guess it's just gotten old. I've been streaming for so long that the computer that I bought specifically for streaming has gotten old. I think the computer that I would replace it with, my old gaming computer, is also too old. This thing is a little newer than my old gaming computer. I think I might have to just fund a new computer for streaming. Just go to one of those pre-built places. No! Spend thousands of dollars for somebody else to build my computer. That's the fun part. Oh no, I'm tangled. What happened? Oh God. What? Oh, this is like a logic puzzle. Oh, there. Okay, got it. That's my mic cable. Dry off faster. Come on, your Windex. Hold it by the fan. Dry off. You can do it. Oh, I need to tilt the fan over here so I don't suffocate. I was talking with Fadanon about features that I could put into the exercise bicycle project. I've talked about that before with you guys. If I get on some of these, like, where they smell SLG1s, some of these like weight loss meds that I'm hoping to get on, curb my appetite, I also need to supplement that with exercise. I need to do that anyway. But I think one of the fun ways to do that would be to build an exercise bike that is a controller. And the controller would be for things like Wreckfest is the first idea, because around when I had that idea, Wreckfest was more popular. Other games I could maybe do it with. Probably not SnowRunner, because SnowRunner's a little bit more, not SnowRunner, Roadcraft. Roadcraft is a little bit more chill. I'd want a racing game. The reason that I would do that is because for the bike controller, what I can do is have the amount of wattage be the accelerator pedal. So the more wattage I get out of the bicycle, the more I'm hitting the accelerator, the faster I'm going. Then I can also, I've got a big Lazy Susan bearing that I can put on the front wheel, and that can be steering. I can't really do anything to steering beyond that. Maybe I could hook something up, but on the actual fluid trainer, because the fluid trainer would be giving me a little bit of resistance. It gives me an exact amount of resistance all the time. It feels like you're biking in the Midwest and everything is just a little bit uphill. I could add features with a 3-phase motor. I can add features like braking. So if Twitch chat contributes bits, they can add to the difficulty or do stuff to the type of inputs that I'm giving everything else. It would be nice if it could do more force feedback so the bike like wheel would feel that. I don't really know how to implement that at the moment. That may be something that we look into, but I think that would be really fun. Have 10 cents for the computer fund. Thank you, Smith Clay. I appreciate the 10 cents. I'm sure that'll go towards the thermal paste that I don't use. Pay a $300 premium for somebody else to do the fun part. I know. Oh, damn it. You missed it. That ideal light lit up when you said that. Let's make you do a marathon. My summer car with bike controls. That would be complete torture. The torturous part about my summer car with bike controls would be that it represents a big investment of time. If you like crash, it's deleting all of the effort that you put into, you know, building the car, all that other stuff. I don't think it might not be a marathon. Back when I lost all the weight, I actually got, I believe it or not, Disco House days, for a year maybe, I was at 210 pounds. I was svelte, according to one of my friends. I actually lost all the weight. I wasn't this giant blimp. I'm like a beach ball with a shirt on. But I wasn't always like that. I was able to get testosterone. I was able to do the workouts 3 times a week, and I would do an hour of biking at a time on the fluid trainer. So if I do a stream, that might be a little bit super extra. With having a bunch of chuckle fucks messing with me using the tools that I built into the bike controller, I think it would be a little bit more of a broken up exercise. It wouldn't be just a steady state endurance run, but it would be really, really funny to build. So, so that's something that I want to explore in the near future. Let's open up CR Scan and get to scanning this thing. I was 210 and now down to 190. You got that gene. I don't know what it is. In my family, people are either skinny or fat. I got the wrong side of that coin. Putting in the drill with sandpaper worked perfectly. Oh, good. I was concerned because if you use too high of a grit, you can really scratch it up. But if you use a nice high, too low of a grit, if you have a nice high grit, then it'll remove just a little bit of material. CR Scan, Creality Scan, it's called. Allow. I was 210 and now I'm down to 320. Ugh, that's not good. Yeah. What's going on? Critical notice, USB disconnection issue. Huh? Okay, close. Ferret. We're not ferret. Are we? I guess we are the ferret. Is this CR Scan ferret? Ferret. Yeah, ferret SE. Okay. We are using the ferret. Oh, this isn't even a window that I should have open. That just opens up a browser window. I love it when you buy a product and all they can do is advertise to you. So we're going to do a new project and call it foot spray. This is the foot spray project. Okay, can I please have, thank you. I want to make it windowed because it's kind of hard to see the stuff that gets hidden behind all of my my little extra windows here. All right, so we got to choose our settings wisely. Did you scan your pinky finger? No, I scanned the little doll middle finger. Twitch chat is crapping out. Oh, yeah, Twitch may be having troubles right now. That's corroborated over a couple of other users that are having trouble with Twitch. For my experience, I'm not seeing any issue, but I am using it in a different capacity than you guys are. Yeah, message effect for 20 bits. Wait, that's 20 cents. Oh, and then I get half of that. Yeah, that's true. Okay, back over to here. So the object, normal, face, or body. I gotta get like, hey babe, want to come over and 3D scan ourselves? We're not scanning a body part, although I'm tempted. Face, what kind of details between normal and face? I guess face probably will gloss over some of the stuff. I guess it's just a different thing. We're a normal object. Face and body mode use the advanced data processing algorithm specifically designed for face and body scanning. Normal, except for transparent, reflective, through-hole, and very thin objects. For transparent and reflective objects, it's recommended to use a scanning spray. It's trying to make you spend money. It's recommended that you use a foot spray, you pervert. Scanning spray before scanning. Hairs, furs, or similar tiny objects are difficult to be scanned. Well, fur, I would assume, yeah. So, yeah, we got that covered. What size are we? 250, 250, 250 to 500, 500, 500, or 150 to 250. 310 millimeters is about the size of my 3D printer bed. I think I'm going to say, we're going to try small. What does medium get us? Fast or high quality? I mean, 250 by 2, how big is that? I don't think I could get the dog to, I got to translate it to 10 inches. What's that? No, that's close. That's really close. 10 inches is like this. Willow will not sit for this kind of thing. I tried to use the Flipper Zero. I tried to use the Flipper Zero to scan for her chip. I think her chip might be like Bluetooth. I'm not sure though. But I tried to scan for her chip, and the Flipper Zero has you like rubbing it on the dog. You basically like scan it across your dog. And she didn't like that at all. She hated that. So getting her to sit still and doing a 3D scan would be not easy. If treats were involved, I don't think I would be able to do it though. She's not a sit still kind of dog. Okay, so feature, we're using geometry, I think. In geometry mode, surface and regularly shaped objects will cause tracking loss during scanning. The objects does not have rich texture features. It's recommended to use marker mode and randomly pasting markers on the surface. I think we're going by geometry just because this should represent a fairly unique geometry as we move around it. And I could move the whole piece of poster board, but I think I'm just gonna wave the scanner around it. Disable flat base, that just gets rid of a flat pad at the base. So yeah, we want that. So I guess we're down to attempting to scan it. So the software is going to be all crazy when I start. And it'll be like, you got the wrong distance. But I need to get it over to the field where I'm going to be scanning this thing. And we need to ascertain what our distance is in order to get this thing to look good. Oh, it's doing its best, huh? So it wants to be that close to the thing. Yep. It's not looking good for our prospects here. That's doing okay. So if I like subtly move over this way, can I get it into that trough? Okay, so there's a lot less of that reflection that I don't like. And the field of vision is very limited. I mean, if we can get that to represent it properly, it doesn't look like that lip is very easy to get either. I need to move way back here. Huh. All right, let's give it a try. I guess there's no time like right now. What's up, patient zero? That one is that meme is old enough to drink, I think. All right, so I'm gonna hit play on this and we'll just scan it. Oops, I moved too quickly. Careful now. Ah. It makes you go back to the position if it loses tracking like that because of the mode we're in. Careful now. What I should do is make a robot arm that'll move this thing using the 3D mouse. There we go. That'll be perfect. Scanotron. All right, so it looks like we got most of that. All right, I'm trying to get a lot of data for that lip there, but I'm not seeing a lot. Not a lot's coming through. It's going to move very slowly. All right. Now I want to get above, so I get the top piece. I just got to move so slowly. I guess with the markers, you can kind of jump in on areas. All right, I'm gonna move back a little bit more so I can get the button thing. And I'm just going slow. I want to get all the data that it's got. Uh-oh. What? Oh, must have. Did I get too much data or something? Let's just get that post and then I think we're done. Don't you dare. Move way back. There you go. Try moving down and see if that'll give me a little bit of the protrusion there. Otherwise, we just got to work with it. This will be our masterpiece. Why is there a big gap over there? I think we got a pretty good scan here. It's probably going to destroy my computer with all the data that it's getting. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop. Think about what you're doing. Where was it? Where was it? It was like here. All right, I guess I'm just going to end the scan there and hit stop and let it process the data. Please adjust the IR exposure. All right, what do we got? Let's see. Might have wanted to have small object mode going. This is decently detailed. I didn't get the lip up here much. That kind of tapers off. See that? I don't like that that ends right there. Oh, there's messages that have rolled in that Chrome decided to park my tabs and make them no longer useful. Great. What's up? Is that using LiDAR or just camera? It uses time of flight measurement, and it uses a infrared dot field. It's basically the same technology as the Kinect. All right, there we go. Seems to be the same old game, nothing changed. Yeah, this is not really much different from what we scanned before. This doesn't look particularly extra detailed. Let's just see what the processing settings. Resolution 0.35. We'll try that. A little bit more sensitivity. And then how else do I make it? Okay, raw scan there. Oh, this lets you grab features, so I can take this up here. Huh? What do I do? Right click, left click. Oh, control and left mouse button deselect, shift and left mouse button select. That. Delete. So I can get rid of some of the floating greebles that way, like this stuff. So we don't process stuff that's out of our field of vision. Who else is floating? You. All right. Does this thing work in here? Try the space puck, space mouse, and see if that helps. It probably won't. I can use it. I'm just unfamiliar with. Whoa. Tilting backwards and forwards apparently makes me go forward and backwards. That's a tilt function. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, and that's all it does. All right, I'm turning this thing off. We're using the CAD mouse at least. Wonder if you can use phone LiDAR for something like this, and assuming there's an app. You have to have an Apple phone, I think, instead of the the laser LiDAR that like the Pixel or the HTC phones have. I don't know. I think you can 3D scan with an Apple phone. Now, the feature that we're looking for is this airbag line, and it should be mostly flat. It seems like the features that we got back are somewhat usable, and I could probably dead reckon off of them. When I didn't use the foot spray, we got the same exact results. Let's just see what the processing looks like on this thing, and we'll see if, I don't know, maybe I need to go to small object settings. Oh my God, this piece of software is very annoying. It's like a variable speed scroll, so when I do that, it flies away. That is very annoying in a feature. That's not a good feature for a program to have. Okay, so what else do I do to this? This program is slowing down. Oh, you can continue the scanning. That's nice. Pan, zoom, etc. And then I guess I have to use one-click processing. Let's just do it. This is going to take a little while. It's going to use up all my resources. It says with default parameters, but when I went to change the parameters, there wasn't like an OK button. It was a little silly. Oh, and then this is frozen, so I have to refresh my frame chat. Only go into studio mode to do that. That would be this one. And then we can do a little refresh cache. All right, you guys will eventually come back up on there. It's actually doing a pretty good job. It's just using up this memory that's supposed to be for Chrome to function properly. I need a new computer, I think. I don't have money for that. Available memory, 4.9 gigabytes. Wait, what, really? Hold on. This stream is going to be bigger than that. I didn't clean this out. Uh-oh. We're going to add file copying to the rest of this madness. Let's just get one file in order to free up a lot of memory. And then that goes into storage number 5. There, that'll free up 15 gigs. These 1080p streams take up quite a bit of space. Everything in this computer is functioning simultaneously. I'm firing on all cylinders. Without OBS running, the scanning might function much better. What am I supposed to do with that information? Ask yourself, what would the streamer do with that information? The RC shocks are too compressed in their current state and aren't centering the shifter nicely. Too compressed? All of the dimensions should be the same because those are the same shocks you were ordering, right? And then you're using my files, so it should all be coming together the same way that my steering wheel. Because like, here, coming over to here. Best view that I can get of it. I got lots of stuff in the way. Pitchy is making the same modifications to this, what is it, OpenShift project or whatever. So going all the way to the limit, which is, yeah, it's that far. See, everything is just a little bit compressed, but it's not out of whack. And that gets me into this gate right here and this gate right here. I don't think I moved anything on the mount down here. It's just adding this one up here and then that, because, yeah, I don't know. Take a pic for the Discord? Okay, I'll take a look. Uh-oh! Can't read from the source file or disk. Wait a minute, why? Huh? Try it again. Ugh, do I have to have this up the whole time? All right, let's take a look at Pitchy's thing. There. What just dinged? I heard a ding. Who dinged? Red or white gooseneck lights from my rack. I I don't know about red. Red's going to cover a lot of stuff because a lot of these modular synthesizer folks put a lot of art into their stuff. Unless you get the ones that are like real super duper rigid and they don't put weird stuff in. I don't know what, oh, what dinged was the scanning software. We'll take a look at that in just a sec. The amount of memory available on my computer, notice it's going down 3.7 gigs. Struggling to send an image. Okay, well, it was going to be my distraction while we wait for stream to upload here. The memory situation on this computer, all the computer builders for the longest time were like, you don't need any more than 8 gigabytes. You don't need more than 8 gigabytes. And I'm like, bitch, I'm going to be running OBS. Oh, can't read from the source file or disk. What? Why does it keep getting interrupted? I'm trying to free up memory. Why would you not be able to? Let's just take one of these other ones. Wait, this is from 4.8. It must have had problems in the past, because why is that 4.8? Going into 5.15 is fine. All right, fine. We'll take 3 of these, cut them, paste them here. This is excruciating. Okay, minimize that. You go over there. And we'll take a look at our scan, which unfortunately the texturing does not help us all that much. We do have a little bit of that lip, so I may be able to use it, although it does some weird stuff over here. It's sometimes, I mean, if I do just the mesh, that'll be a little bit more visible. Why? Why? No, this is looking a little bit more detailed than our other one. I think just because we stayed with it a little longer. I think I could use this. I think this could be functional because there's enough of the lip over here and there's more of it on this side. We could, I think, designing it on this side. How about this top piece? That's where it kind of, we don't really get a lot of impression of where this stops. But I guess if we've got the beginnings of it, that would be this ridge right here that goes along the back. That's sort of the indicator of where this thing begins. It's not, it's actually kind of a strong, I kind of want it there though, because that gives me an idea of what angle's going into the piece above it. But I think maybe I can just, well, actually, I could go in and scan more, can't I? Maybe not at this point. The shocks are just not what they advertised. So you're going to have to do a little bit more massaging of the parts in order to get it to work. All right, so something weird is happening here, and I can't copy files off. I'm going to try again, and I'm just going to leave this up. I'm going to leave this up because something weird is going on with the memory of this computer. The memory of this computer is being damaged. My good memory. It could be that OBS is trying to write to the same file, but I've never had this problem before where it just kind of stops. And maybe it's that it's changing files. So this shifter project was a lot. We did a lot of stuff to get meshes into Fiusion360 and then have them represented properly and being able to alter the meshes. Because when you get a file from like Thingiverse or GrabCAD, sometimes you don't get them in Fusion format. And in order to make a mesh into an editable body, there are mesh tools in Fiusion360, right? You can do some stuff with meshes. Most of the mesh tools, though, are designed to create one of those fusion bodies, because the fusion body is the thing you can extrude through and do all that stuff with. Damn it. What is going on with this? I'm going to leave this active. I'm not going to touch anything else because I'm running dangerously low on memory in this computer. And I need these files to transfer over to make room. I don't know why this is happening. This has never happened to me before. But I do have 5,000 programs open. That might have something to do with the way the computer is allocating memory. Well, that makes me sad, Pitchy, that the shocks don't fit. Because we got everything into bodies, and I sent you the bodies. So I guess you can actually go through in Fusion and alter those things with those tools. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Don't be a hardware problem with my computer, or I'm going to cry. Damn it! All right, let me close CR scan. We'll export the model and see if we'll see if we can work with this. I would like to spend more time scanning, but it's having a detrimental effect to the rest of my computer. It's affecting it quite badly. Yeah, we'll stay with that. Export. Poly, STL, or an object. I guess object. And stream project, desktop stream project Mercwheel. Save that, and our 4 gigs are going to become like 1. I think it'll be easier to source some different shocks. I can use the springs for now since I got them too, but I'll see what I end up doing. Yeah, and I don't really know what the... Oh, wait, I need to give it a name. Foot.object. Available memory. Well, it still says 3.8. What is flashing? Oh, I did it as an STL before. Well, object is probably fine. That is a smaller file. Okay, let's close this program and never talk about it again. And we're going into Fiusion360. I would like to eventually create a new form, but... Oh, I've switched over to the form tools and I have no idea how to get back. Huh. Oh, finish form. I see. So the forming tool is like the sketch tool. I see now. Okay. I'm learning. I'm doing this for the first time. I have no idea what I'm doing. Here, let's get this to be an image of something as well. This thing. Just as a reference. Why did that move after I positioned it? I tightened the lock and then it moved. Like, why did I set this thing up the way that I did if it wasn't going to work? There we go. So there's the bevel. And we will put in, we're going to insert our mesh. Yeah, I guess mesh. And we'll just take the object file. We're going to take it from my computer. And on the desktop, we would have, I think it's in the project folder, stream project, Mercwheel, foot. Okay. The problem is the steering wheel's right here, so I can't get into my normal computer using position. So I'm pushed all the way out to the outside. I guess maybe I'll just move this right now, and then there we go. Now I don't have to scooch all the way over in order to get on camera, driving a piece of 80/20 rail into my leg. That, of course, will be solved soon. I will move this stuff away once we get an honest impression of this thing working. Why are we so far over like that? What is... Oh, okay, we're down here. Come back up. Let's go back over with the scooching. Okay. All right, so our task now is to get this on kind of a usable plane. And I would like to make it so that I can split it down the middle with using one of the cardinal directions. But I think what I want to do in order to navigate it properly is have it facing up like this. But not going into the negatives? Well, no, it's going to have to go into the negatives. But maybe I can represent the grid. I guess it'll be adaptive. Oh, there it looks like that's cool. You know what? It does look kind of cool when it's matte black. All right, so move copy. That'll give us a little bit of an ability to scooch it around. Top view and try to get this thing to orthographically meet up with itself so that it's not crooked. That probably is going to require some micro adjusting. Actually, those two planes are not necessarily going to be even with each other. I didn't get the same amount of scan on the very edge of both of these. If I did get more of the sides and backing of it, then maybe I could use that as a datum, but I don't know if that's really going to fly. course, that's always going to move it diagonal now. See if I can't just click OK on that and move it again. Move copy. Back, and I think it needs to be tilted a little bit. Although if I do design like that, I mean, I guess that is pretty flat. This doesn't really matter as much as everything else. What's up, Poison Mouse? How you doing? Sorry, you're not a poison mouse, you're a poisoned. What is the app? Yes, this is Fiusion360. Fusion, turn around once. Move copy. I'm going to do my best to get this thing flat because we want to have a good mirror image of whatever the solid is that I'm going to use in order to create the airbag cover. That's 0 degrees. I mean, that's looking, it looks flat. Let's take it into what is that called? Isometric view? I'm poison and always passing the poison. I got the poison. I got the remedy. I got the post-symptom co-rhythm. I got the post-symptom something co-remedy. Boom. Post-symptom cosmic? No. What did I hear in the... All right, sorry. Old man and his lyrics. Yeah, we're using Fusion. We're using the Creality CR Scan Ferret. And the CR Scan Ferret is not the best, but it is very affordable. And so me, with my budgetary restrictions, I was able to get the ferret, and we are now using it in order to get a 3D scan into Fusion. And so I have to the best of my abilities, make this thing as locked into the grid as possible. That way, when I use one of the cardinal directions as a plane to split this in half, I'll get a good mirror image out of it and everything will fit. So I have never done editing of forms in Fusion. Why does this look so off? Because it is off. 378. No. Okay, hold on. No, that's not doing anything. Ah, no, I did it again. Okay, so this is just moving it on the cardinal direction. These are off, and I think it's because we need to slide over just a little. So that's tucked in there. That's tucked in there. So we've got kind of like an X that meets the edge, and we've got kind of an X that meets the edge. It's probably off by a little bit, like there's a little bit poking out. Yeah, it's not poking out there. So I want to go like tiny little bit over here. So that's peeking out. That's almost peeking out. There's like a little tiny corner right there. Go over here. There's like a little tiny corner. It could go to the right infinitesimally more. But I think, well, let's do 4, 5. 4, 6. Yeah, 4, 4. I can't even see that moving it. What's a good 3D printer for a poor person? Ooh, that's a tough question. There's a bunch of printers that are like more, how do I put it? It's, you know, I'm not saying like for poor people, but there are some very affordable printers out there. I have not had any experience with them, so I'm not totally comfortable recommending anything. But you know, you're gonna have to go to like Reddit or somewhere else. Well, Reddit is all bots now, bots and rage bait. Yeah, chat's kind of chiming in. The Discord is really good with this stuff too, recommending things, because people have more time to answer. They can kind of Google it and look it up and figure out what their answer is. I don't have those luxuries here on stream. Yeah, if your library is a printer, that could be pretty useful. This still does not look even, does it? Yeah, it's not. Actually, That's looking all right. Maybe this just didn't scan as much. No. Is that like a missing ridge? That should kind of meet up with itself, though. That might be close. Hard to tell. We lost all of these sort of like machine features. Like, for instance, I could have used the two pads here to give us like a lower area, kind of the same way that it's sitting on the piece of plastic over there. It's like I want this line to mirror this line. It would be nice if I could set up like, well, can I do, I wonder if I could do like a mirror of the mesh. It'd be nice if there was like a live mirror and then I could get it to line up with itself. Curvature map analysis. That seems neat. Accessibility analysis. No. Section analysis. What does that do? Oh, that just gives us a view inside. That lets us section away. Section analysis is really useful on bodies, because when you do it on the with the bodies, it'll give it different hash marks for the different pieces that are working together. Might check the library to learn before I buy, or buy $100 and learn from that. What you're going to do is I mean, obviously 3D printing is going to become the hobby, right? When you do that, the 3D printer won't function amazingly, and it won't be just like something you plug in and use. You're going to have to learn all of the tuning, which is not as intimidating as it sounds, because there are comprehensive tuning guides depending on what tools you're using. There are ones that use multiple different tools and you put them in there. We have a guide that we like here. Okay. There it is. ellis3dp.com. So if you get a $100 printer, you can run through this, assuming that your tools are the same, and you'll have to make sure, and then you can get it into a very high level tune. Got a G-Tech after that. Oh, wait, I missed a bunch of story. Slowly moving over to Bamboo Labs stuff. I love my A1 with the AMS. Bamboo Labs, of course, you're going to drop a chunk of money and you put it on the table and you hit print. And then you get the thing that you printed. And if something goes wrong, you might not understand because you didn't learn all the tuning. But maybe you don't have to. Maybe you don't have to. But if you're, budget restricted, going through that Ellis guide, even just reading it before getting the printer, just to know the type of stuff that you're going to have to do, helps. Helps. Every mesh modeler has a symmetry mirror stuff. Okay, so I need to discover these tools because I just don't know that they're there. And maybe I need to use those tools and present this thing into the zero origin. The $150 Ender 3 I had almost ruined the hobby for me. Got a G-Tech after that, saved it slightly. I got an X1C after that. Now I'm in love. I am lucky for the benefit of having the ability to buy a decently representative printer and then upgrading it extensively. Okay, direct edit, shell, combine, smooth, scale mesh, volumetric lattice. What does that do? Oh, that's a plugin that I have. So I'm looking for some kind of like some kind of a way to create like a mirror image of this thing so that I can line it up with itself. And that'll allow me to get it more into orientation on the principal directions. Because that's what I'm going to be doing in the end, is mirror imaging it. I'm not sure that Fusion has such a weird tool. I could split it and then mirror the mesh and see how that matches up with itself, but then I'd have to go back and adjust it. So if I do like, oh, do we have the Pitchy picture in there? Hold on. Pitchy was wrestling with adding a picture to Discord. I've got an ad on there. No, I don't have a Pitchy yet. There it is. Okay, so let's take a look. Pitchy is building the same, wait, how do How do I open this up in a browser? What is that? Huh. Copy link. Or no, open link. Gotta right click and go to open link. Why is this? Oh, this is super low quality. Why are they so compressed? Oh, you're not. No, that's. Wait, that is where they go? Yeah, they go all the way to the bottom there? Yeah. So what? This must be long. It doesn't look like the right thing. What the? Is your printer scaling stuff? Is that going on? Because those look like the things that I have. The distances must be vastly different. Yeah, maybe mine are, because mine definitely have like 10 millimeter more than that. Copy paste the mirror. That's what I figure I have to do. Everything else fits perfectly. What the hell? Oops, sorry. Just get back over to here. Did I cut the threads off of the heads? No. No, I didn't. They look largely the same. These must be shorter. I don't know. It could be that the ends are... No, that's not the case at all. These must be shorter. It's not like I moved them out or anything. They're still in the same base. .5 millimeter length of the shock uncompressed. I've got a couple in a drawer over here. Here. I think these are the same thing. So uncompressed. Where's my caliper? Maybe we're building a time machine. And these are shorter by 10 millimeter. 82.6 versus here 90. What the hell? Shock body is 47. That's weird. The body must be vastly... Yeah, it looks like it if I'm looking over. The body of your shock is a lot taller than mine. Oh, that sucks. They just weren't what was advertised, huh? A 38 for the shock body-ish. Yeah, these are shocks for RC cars, but they make the shifter feel more expensive. 43, so you're like 5 millimeters too long. I can't believe it was down to 5 millimeters. We did a little bit with RC cars here. I had a 1/24th scale. They were cheap anyway. Try to get one smaller. Yeah. Well, sorry to make you spend the money. So the best way that I've got, I guess, is to try to mirror this thing and then compare it to itself and get it in alignment. I wonder if I could just take the whole mesh and I can duplicate it. So if I go to the move copy and I go create copy and I just drop it exactly where it is, and then I take the copy and create doesn't have a does modify have a mirror? Reverse normal, well, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't know if I'm able to do that. I thought there would be like a mirror tool within the, let me just undo that copy. Interference, no. Curvature comb analysis, zebra analysis, draft. Curvature map, ISO curve, what that does. Accessibility, minimum radius analysis, no. Section, no. Center of mass, nah. Display face groups is a tool you would use if you wanted to turn this into like a fusion body. I'm gonna move this thing over. I don't know if I have the tool that I need in order to level this out. Well, what I'm debating about is that when it comes down to creating the body that's going to fit in this thing, I want it split in the middle, and I want it to mirror itself. And if I've got this thing misaligned, it's not going to mirror with itself. And it looks from the outset, if I look at it like this, it doesn't look like I've completely done all my due diligence in order to get this thing to be flat across the horizontal plane. I want this to be in the center, and then I want these to be, yeah. Anyway, you guys get what I'm talking about. I guess I could probably do distance measurements with the ruler tool. But the easiest way to do this would be if I could have a live mirror image of the thing so that I could get them both to kind of meet up to each other's dimensions. I don't think that exists, though. That's plain cut. Let's see. Well, if I take this and I go to Solid Tools and I create a mirror, I can only select, okay, I can't select meshes. Blah, blah, blah. And in the mesh tools, they figured they didn't want to do any mirroring. Edit, remesh, reduce, plane cut, shell, combine, smooth. Reverse the normal is reversing, which is the interior of the mesh. And then other than that, I don't have too many other stuff going on. Okay. Construct. That's just adding planes to stuff. And it would be nice if there was an inspection tool that would help me do that, but I guess ISO curve doesn't. Curvature comb, draft analysis. Yeah, it's just, so I don't know if there's something that'll mirror. It's not a tough thing for them to do. I just don't have that control over this type of thing. Duplicate, mirror, and then merge. But I can't mirror the whole solid. That's the thing. As I look to see, I don't have a mirror tool here. Should probably be in the, oh wait. Oh, this is the mesh selection. The mesh selection tools are actually pretty good in Fusion. It's kind of neat. I turn down my brush size here and I can select multiple different pieces of the mesh at once and do things like repair it if I really need to. So there are some pretty cool tools here. Blender, of course, has all the best tools, but yeah, let's finish direct editing and let me look again. I mean, modify. I don't have mirror in here. Now I could try to convert this to a Fusion body and then I could mirror it, right? But converting it is going to be a little bit difficult because it's not a closed solid. If I hang it on a string and did the 3D scanner with it hanging on strings, I could possibly get those back faces in order to close the mesh. Although there's a lot of weird complexity in the back faces. I could also just try to tie it together and just make it kind of close itself, but that'll create a cursed sort of SCP out of the whole thing that I just don't want to do. Right now, what I can do is use this and just go along these lines and create the body that I want to. It's just in the end, is it going to be in the right position? All the things that I do to it, I'd have to redo in order to correct some of those little weirdnesses. We've got enough detail here, though. I'm a SolidWorks guy, but there should be a mirror. Yeah, for the Fusion bodies, I didn't see anything that was like that here. There's the assembly context that's not going to have it. Sheet metal tools, plastic tools, utilities. Those are the inspection tools from before. What was that one? What did that do? You know, everything else has a mouse over, and then I, except for the thing, oh, display component colors. Oh, I see, okay. ISO curve, curvature, draft, zebra. What does the zebra analysis do? Confuses me. What the heck? What is the zebra analysis doing? Oh, does it just shade it so that you can, wow, that looks trippy. I guess it just highlights features that you wouldn't see otherwise. That's kind of a neat one. Oh, locking the stripes makes it look so much less exciting. Ray tracing. Okay, let's turn that off. Zebra analysis is useless. All right, inspect curvature map. That doesn't work on meshes. Works on bodies. Yeah, if I had any ability to, and you know, the program should be able to do that. I just don't have access to that feature, I guess. I should be able to mirror it on the center line, and it would create a new solid for seeing surface curves and imperfections. Yeah. This is where having Blender also helps, because I could probably pull this into Blender and figure this out much more quickly, because Blender has all the mesh tools. I just don't know how to use either of them. I've used Fiusion360 mesh tools quite a bit. Blender I used very sparingly for the mesh editing. I basically use Blender to get into the individual vectors and move them around. All right, well, I guess if I would like to get into this direct edit. Oh, that brings us into here. Do we have any sort of mirroring ability now? No. The construct tools you would think would have something, but yeah, it's just not letting me do that. All right, let's close the mesh palette. Let's figure that out. Okay, all right, I'm gonna call this good enough then. So we're gonna get into the form tools. I would like to use forms on this. We're gonna leave the mesh there as just our reference. So I'm gonna get out of this, go into solid, and we're gonna put a form down. So we're gonna create, I don't know which one I wanna use. Mirror internal. Look at all these symmetry tools that they give us in this. They didn't give us it in the other one. We don't get that in the other one. I guess what we can do is we can use the form tools to give us some datum points, and then we can go back in the steps using the timeline. I think that's the best way that we can do it. And the symmetry is going to be on one single axis. So we have a nice boring mirror symmetry, not circular or clear, isolate. So mirror, oh, I don't want mirror internal. I want our overall. Oh, we need the T-spline body first. I hope it can do it live. Maybe not a cylinder. I think maybe we need just a cube. And where am I putting it? I guess this is an okay spot to draw the cube, because it'll be from here. Oh, that's from the center. Ugh. Hold on. Extrude, sweep, and loft, huh? Sweeping might be good, but I guess we could just start with a cube. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Center. No, we're gonna do 2 point. There. There's the beginnings of it. Now, what I want to do, duplicate. So that would be to duplicate it. What utilities do I have? Repair body, make uniform, convert, enable better performance. We've got our construct tools. Under symmetry, we've got our mirrors and stuff. Modify is where we've got all of our high-powered tools. Pull, smooth, straighten, interpolate, thicken, freeze. We can weld vertices, we can subdivide. These are going to it's going to get crazy when we start to do with these things. I mean, I could also put a bunch of planes down and try to get that shape together and then get it to sweep along something. That could be a way to do it. What? Silly Russell. Subbing at a tier 1 for 91 months. Holy crap. So 9 months from when I first subscribed to Rabaz, you subscribed to me. That's crazy. Thank you, Celia. I'm being a little quieter because there's people painting the deck out there. So, all right, what are we doing? I can do things like pull. Whoa. Well, why did it? Oh, because did I specify that? No, it just kind of went to the nearest thing that it touched. Wait a sec. Does that mean that I could just smash this into the... What the? Gifted a sub. Celia Russell gifting a sub to Leb TV Live. 117 gift subs. Holy crap, Celia. Okay, sorry. We're just let me get the idea light into view here. Everything's out of focus. Thank you so much, Celia Russell. What's the image here? 91 of those are to Leb. Yeah, you've been keeping Leb up with those subs. I saw this earlier. Cat stuck. The audacity of it all. Cats and wires will tell you something. So yeah, we used the foot spray on this thing. It turns out target select auto. I see. So that's what's going on. So I can hit this and select this is the target, and it'll take it out to the target. Can it like mold it into there? And the pull type I can select. Okay, that might be pretty powerful. Fill hole might be a good tool to use. I'm not sure yet. Slide edge, bevel edge, uncrease crease, unweld, weld, erase and fill hole, bridge, merge edge, insert a point, subdivide, insert an edge, edit by curve. This is getting to the tools that I'm looking for, but the one that I just found where it just goes straight up to the mesh seems very interesting to me. My cat's found a new place to stay even when it's running. They lay under the print bed on my K2 and not move out before the last moment of the printer is about to squeeze them as the bed goes down. That's not a good place for a cat. 3D printers can be kind of dangerous. That's going to be a rude awakening for those kitties. All right, I am just learning this. I'm trying to get my bearings here. I could try to put planes down or curves down in order to give this somewhere to kind of like move around. I didn't get the front edge as well as I would like to. That's kind of a rough front edge, because that'll inform me of what the angles are that I want to match so that it seems like it's a continuous part. Keep working with it. How can I build this? I could build it out of a bunch of different objects. Like that looks kind of like 2 cylinders. If I did just like floating curves like we did before. But I could also do... If I put it out in front, I could maybe match it down to the thing and then add curves to it in order to match it. I was printing something yesterday and I was looking at the camera inside the printer. See a tail sticks up close to the poop slot of the printer. And when I come home today, both of my cats were in there. They learned about how to open the damn door. Oh my God. One with the white lights, I figure I can get colored tape to put over the lenses. That's a good idea, yeah. White lights, because things might be printed in red on these, if you're, doing synthesizer modules. Okay, I'm getting my bearings here. Any expert in using these tools will cringe at what I'm doing, but I'm getting an idea of how I should be using these things. It seems like I want just like a giant blob sitting in front of this, but I think I can make this bottom piece out of a cylinder maybe. Like if I were to go this way, I give it a lot of vertices and I make it bigger until it sort of starts to take over. And it looks like they aren't using an exactly cylindrical. Not quite cylindrical, I see. Although this is giving me an idea. This is a good impression of the how well I've centered this thing. Actually, it seems pretty well centered. Might get away with it. I got 2 of them, see if it's enough. I haven't even gotten to the point of like whether or not I know I need lights. Let's try that. We got a cylinder with a decent amount of nodes on it. And then I can match that outer rim with it, and then we can kind of push it in. Although it would be nice if I had this a little closer down here. So I guess what I can do is snap these to the different geometries of this. Yeah, this is this Creality ferret, which is decently affordable, and I'm getting an okay amount of detail out of it. CR scan ferret. Although it was kind of difficult, we used Dr. Scholl's Odorex ultra odor fighting foot spray in order to coat this with a matte surface that is kind of whitish gray. The chalk spray did the same exact thing. This stuff did about the same thing. The foot spray, I think, is cheaper than the chalk spray because the foot spray is $9 US dollars at Acme grocery markets. I'm gonna get like a good angle on this. There we go. The lighting is all weird over here. So this is the ferret. Yeah, consumer grade scanner. It's what can be expected, and I think the geometries on this thing are near enough as makes no difference for us. I'm learning how to use the form tools though. That's sort of the second half of the stream is Bother learns to use the forming tools. So if I modify these by, can I just get like a menu of all these tools? If I push or pull, where did that go? Oh, it went to the nearest geometry. So if I pull that, target to like here, it didn't really, oh, I see, it selected it on the mesh. What? No. I'm learning. We're getting there. When I was ready to order, it was sold out, so I ended up with a 3D Maker Pro Moose. I wonder how much different the two are. I'm not in a position to test that, unfortunately. I'm starting to think that my previous efforts in just getting a 3-dimensional line on top of those geometries was probably a better thing to do, and maybe I could pull in these mesh tools later, or the form tools later. What does that do? Crease. Well, on a sphere, I'm sure it doesn't exactly do what I want it to. It's funny, they made a ball, but there's definitely corners to the ball. That's so weird, because I guess they're using quads, so the quads don't exactly make a totally smooth ball. No, they do make a smooth ball. They just have weird geometries to them. That's interesting. Hope the laser scanners have in price in the next few years. Yeah, they are. I mean, they are decently expensive. It's a sort of annoying how much they cost, but the types of things that you can do with them are like powerful. This putting a face down would require me to make continuous faces all around this and then build them up and around until I shell it in. And I guess I can use the hole filling tool in order to do that. Testing a Creality Raptor X now, but Can buy a boat for that price. Yeah, when you get into tools like this, you get like industrial pricing, which means, you know, these things are like, I could buy a house for this much. So what if I take it from the center here? What are we doing? Corner to corner? Or is it like that? Where's my plane? What am I doing? Oh, I'm drawing it all the way over there. Okay. Let's Control Z a couple times there. So I'm on a flat plane, which is not really where I want it to be in the end. I'm gonna have to move it. Can I like draw it on top of something? Oh, I see. Plane versus face. So face, and I have to do it on a plane. I can't do it on the mesh. We do it on that plane, and then it's going to end up being down there. So we'll go into this view, and I'll edit the opacity of that. Oh, I see. There's two in play here. Oh, I'm in a tool, so I can't edit the opacity. Fine. Can I snap? Oh, object snap. It's not helping me because there isn't an object. Come on, Fusion. Give me something here. That's going to create, it's going to be uneven. So what I was thinking is that I could take a bunch of planes like this and put them on top of it and sort of massage them into the right spot. So if I move that, bring it up to my thing here, this will help me kind of build the solid as I go along. That's just my thought. I can give it a little gap there so that we're floating above the plane like that. And then I can use some of the forming tools in order to put it into place. I don't know if there's any alternative to doing that. So I'd have to use all these modify tools individually, huh? That's just position. Can I do this? No, cancel. Modify. Edit by curve? And then I have degrees here. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for, is it? Yeah, I gotta learn how to use some of these tools. Okay, what was that? It's about $5,000 for it plus tax? Damn. Yeah, I don't have the money for that sort of tool, huh? I love how I can scan wirelessly and it uses Wi-Fi to send it to the computer. It's doing all the tracking and compiling on the unit, not by software. All the tracking and compiling on the unit sounds really good, and it would help me because I have a really bad computer. I guess if you were working remotely, you could have a laptop and it wouldn't need a big graphics card. Although my portable might be more powerful than this computer now because I got a Legion Go. Might be more powerful than this computer. This is not going to stay on this axis as much as I would like it to, but I think we've got to start here. I just need to learn these tools a little better. So if I flatten my view and come in here, I can see where I need to meet up with this curve. I just need to figure out how the modify tools can help me do this. Pull, flatten, strengthen, insert edge, subdivide, insert point. So edit form is probably my friend. Utilities, what does that do? Display mode, repair body, don't need any of that stuff right now. So yeah, we're definitely in edit form. You still need a good computer. It scans like 1,000,000 points per second, so it takes a lot of memory. That seems to be what all these require. What are these modes? I really need the pop-ups right now, Fusion. Can you please straighten that out? I don't know what this means. Okay, so that's pushing them. So if I really wanted to, I could take that one there, and then I could take this one as close as I can get. Close as I want to get. I actually do want to give it a little bit of distance. We want all of our offsets in here just intrinsically, and I guess we could try to edit large structures in order to get them to fit better. I don't know. A lot of what I'm doing is off the cuff, chat. I apologize for my stupidity. I would like to push a curve into these two. How do I do that? If I hit this, is going to tilt that entire face. Okay, so I don't want any of that. Escape. No, come back. I'm sorry I yelled. Modify. Let's do... Maybe we need the curve modify on that one. Edit by curve. You and you. Nope, just you. Curve control points. Nope, apparently that's not something that I can do with just one plane. Yeah, if you're doing like professional 3D scanning, you're spending that money on a tool that you're gonna, utilize. It's pretty cool. Like having a remote 3D scanner would be nice, because the limitation on this one is that you have got to work around the cable, and you have to work slow, and it creates a lot of memory on the computer. It uses a lot of memory on the computer, which is bad because I'm streaming. All this stuff is Fiusion360 has been very kind to this computer. So, I mean, I can insert an edge, I can subdivide that. I need this to not bevel. Slide edge? Okay, so that's not the tool that I need. I need to add curves to this. These forms should have additional controls on them that would enable me to do nothing. What the heck? Hey. Bridge, fill hole, erase and fill, weld the vertices, unweld the vertices, crease and uncrease. So, edit form. What other things do I have here? Okay, wait a minute. That didn't do anything. What is this nonsense? Oh God, my view. Editing that one has done nothing for me. Okay, Control Z that. Okay, so we saw in the cylinder, we saw complex nodes. I mean, it was able to have like a Bezier curve. The cable's bad. It's always such a thing that tugs when you want a hand scan. That's why I was thinking, like with the Legion Go, I've got that little computer and it's like a tablet sized. So I could probably do the CR scan on it. I don't know if CR scan is a Linux version of the program. What is it? Einscan? Go 3D Pro. I don't think I will. $604 a month for like the rest of your life, because this is the $20,000 scanner. Look at all these things. Dang. What can it do? It'll do your homework. This is for like big objects, huh? Yeah. Cool. Not gonna use that. Way too expensive. I'm still learning how to swim here, chat. I'm not quite there yet. So purely on a two-dimensional plane, I would like to add more things to this. So, I mean, what I could do is divide this and stretch it out. I could also maybe make another one if I do another plane from... Oh, it'll only let me do that on the base. So what I want to do is I want to take this and stretch it out and add more nodes to it until I get enough. Just remortgage your house for a $20,000 3D scanner. Some people recreationally buy stuff like that, and I never understand. Why is your budget so big? I guess people find jobs that pay them a lot of money. I was never that person. I'm an engineer. I should be making amazing money, but I've not been getting the good jobs, huh? There are jobs out there, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to divide this here, and we will do, yeah, we only want that, and then we want a couple more squares out of this thing. I'm going to try for this. We'll see what this does. So transform mode right now is in a weird state. Selection filter, just on that one. I don't really know what these do. La-di-da-di-da. Take that, bring it out. Bring it way out. Because we're going to match most of this curve with this thing. I'm going to see if we can create a plane that's going to go around this whole thing. It might be better if I did this with 2 dimensionals. I'm learning what I'm doing. If somebody knows what they're doing, like, please chime in. Because yeah, now our plane stretches out along there, and I'm going to try to fit it to this curve. I use ROG Ally when I was scanning. My other workshop PCs are not really that decent. So the ROG Ally is a nice computer that has decent RAM, speed, and view. Yeah, and being able to like move it around and stuff. Okay, so let's see. How in the world am I supposed to create like a curve on these nodes? So if I grab this node right here. Oh, we're in line mode. Where's node mode? That's no mode, node mode. Okay, so that's curving it. Those are the control points that do curvature. So if I take this node and I move it up here, and then I give it a little bit of backspin. Okay, that's for that line. And I don't know what it's doing otherwise. Can I reset that? All right, that's a little weird, but okay. All right, so grab this one, come back in here, and we're starting to see the Bezier forming. That one up a little bit, bring this one in from behind, all the way up to there, and then that messes them all up because they're all based on the previous. So we can kind of, probably by tilting it a little bit, get it to hit our geometry points. Can I curve this? Whoop. The scroll wheel on this mouse sometimes moves stuff a little bit too quickly. Now, that's interesting. Okay, so if I put this over here, see, that's starting to take on a little bit of a curve there. I don't know if that's going to push it up vertically or not. I'm only editing it on the one plane. Okay on that. I don't know where my object is. I don't know what happened to it. There it is. Okay, so it is staying flat. That's exactly what I want. I just need to work with these nodes a little bit more to get them to do what I want. So this probably needs to be tilted. So if I go to, no, this mode, click on that, it'll attempt to tilt it. I don't know if that's doing the right thing. And move this node back, at this point back over. Yeah, see, that's straightening it out. Okay, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get it. The things have properties. Oh God. Oh God, where? My view, my view. Okay, we're back. All right, that's a little bit more sane. I hate working in Fusion forms. It's so strange when you do the stretches. I know it because I know Bezier curves. I know how those function. So it's actually kind of useful for me. Because if I can get a flat plane to kind of match up with everything. Where are we directly on top? Yeah, we are. Okay. So I need to get, no. That's a view tool. That right up on the top of the edge. I think over the edge just a little bit. I don't know what these are doing. Yeah, see, it's starting to kind of fill it in. It's starting to kind of fit properly as I kind of massage things into place. This one, I think, has a rotation on it, so things are a little bit weird. Put it back to 0 there, because that's not really fitting properly. There we go. All right. Yeah. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see it come together. It's going to be a weird process. I want to stand up for a little bit. You guys should stretch your legs. The only thing is I probably should have put down like a line and had it make them along the line, because now I've got to do all this weird editing in order to get my nodes in the right spots. And each one affects the one next to it, so there's a kind of weird stuff going on. But I guess what I can do is select the line itself, that's this one, and give it a twist. Ouchies. Let's take this one all the way up, because it'll help the other ones come together. So our test will go up to here, this little block right here. We'll go right up to that. Right to there. There we go. And then let's go back into the node editing and try to just move this stuff into position at the very least. Right about there. It's pretty good. I'm not sure if these are the best control points that I've selected, but they'll allow me to make a nice smooth curve. I could probably reduce it quite significantly if I took an informed guess about where this stuff is supposed to go. Maybe get it to like a uniform. Well, no, it's not a uniform width necessarily. Whoa, what is this tool? I don't like how that one responds. That one's a little easier to function, easier to operate. What in the world just happened? Why? I swear this program is out to get me. Yeah, that kind of gets wider there, doesn't it? And then these are all messed up just because of the ones around them. I don't know if there's a tool that'll put this to a uniform width. The Bezier handles are not what I would expect. Yeah, they are a little strange, aren't they? What is going on here? These like need a reset because I was just learning how to use the tool when I grabbed them. I'd like that to be a straight line, but I don't know how to make it into one. I wonder how you do that. Look at like select the line and hit straighten on it. And then those nodes don't move when I move this thing, so it like messes up everything around it. Weird. Weird. What in the... I wonder what I can do. Objects, soft modifications, selection options. Oh my God, there's a lot. There's a lot of selection options on this. I don't. You guys can't see the menu here. I'm working through this menu, which is extensive, and I'm sure there's shortcut buttons that I can use. I just don't know them yet. There's a lot of different options on this thing. I'm just working with these three right here. These transform mode, coordinates, something or other, and then selection filter. So I can select the different types of, I guess, wait, what's the difference here? Huh, okay, so those, I don't even know what that one's doing. This one is different modes, so I can twist things and I can, yeah, or just the universal handle is what I've been using. And then this selects the type of thing. So you can select a vector, you can select the line itself and try to manipulate it, which would just move it around in space, I guess. Or you could select, you know, like the planes and stuff like that. I'm going between these two, basically. It's line and dot mode. Sorry, these two down here. This one and this one. So dots and lines. Now, these, why are these different than what they were? What did I do to them? I'm almost considering just deleting them because this is kind of a problem for me. Well, the other ones have that too. And I guess the corners are the ones that are laid out like this. What is that all about? There's got to be some logic to that I can get back to. I don't know. Now, right now, this is not a very smooth thing. So I'm going to put that back over there. It's going to be kind of a little bit off to the side. And you know, hey, I'm getting it slowly. What is this all about? Soft modification. Extent, transition. Okay. There's a lot of selection options. And then there's the numerical inputs, which are hidden. Yeah, okay, we're not even touching that one. Hey, these are the tools that people use to like design car bodies and stuff. So I want to get to know them a little bit better so that I can be more powerful in my use of the software. It's weird that it kind of gets narrow there. Like that would have to have something to avoid it up there. That's fine. This I can match a little bit better. And then this comes out a little bit more. What is that doing? It don't do nothing. All right, that would mean this also needs to move a little. We'll go right to where it's a light edge. There's that. This one comes in a little bit. Right up to where it's right covering over the lightness. This one comes in just a tiny bit. Oh, a little too much light. This should go up a little bit then. That's a little bit more like the curve. That's a little too sharp. Maybe I don't even need the vector there. So to do that, I can erase and fill. No. Fill hole. No. Weld the vertices. No. What if I select just the line? Can I just hit delete? Hold on. No. It highlighted it just briefly. Nope. Ah! So that gets rid of that, and then it makes that one big curve. I think the curve does change right around here. So this one I may want to move down. Although, wait, I can get rid of the messed up one too. Yeah. Try to fit that. This one's messed up too, so I might as well get rid of it. And then I can split this. What am I doing? I'm subdividing this one with one width, and that's it. Okay, so now, all right, this is, hey, I'm learning. This is getting a bit easier for me to kind of conceptualize in my brain what's going on. Look at that smooth curve. Beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Never get used to seeing that. Truly, truly wonderful. Let's try to get the just over the light, like I said. So we want to be there. And then I want to go to point mode. Move that point in a little bit. Try to make it a little flatter. Although it's still messing with my... I guess I got to keep those in line with the line. Interesting. So like that. Maybe a little wider. It seems to be okay. It's almost like I don't need this one here either. That one might be better represented being a little bit further down. Like down here. There seems to be... You can see there's like a change right here. So it... Maybe that should be here. Well, no. It should be here. Right at the start of the curve. So I'm going to select that. It's also going to mess up everybody else. This is getting into the philosophy of reverse engineering a little bit. You're trying to pick apart the person who built it and break them down and make them cry. Wait, no, that's not reverse engineering. Oh, that's not the one that affects this. So a little bit like that. A little bit like this. If I keep massaging this, I might be able to get it to be a coherent trace of the geometry in this area. I like this. This is actually working out pretty well. I'm able to effectively create this shape using tools that might be similar to what they used. Or they might just operate similarly to what they used. That's the other one. It could be a little bit smoother, but overall I think it is working. This I actually want to move down this way, but I don't know how to do it. Guess I can go down and over till it matches. Where does that pick up on a different angle? Think about the Beziers is that they all affect one another in kind of cursed ways. I never know which one's actually going to edit the geometry in any way. I don't know if moving these around is I guess they've got a vertical component to it, and as long as those are on the same plane. But that's kind of cursed here because it like bows outward. And I don't think it should really do that. Maybe that should be more like that. Because it feels like it could be the same width all around, but I don't really think it is. I wonder if there's a tool that helps me do this. Just like that. There we go. Yeah, it's a strange... Oh, I guess it's just strange. And I guess those can help to straighten that out. All right, so let's get this in place. That. This one up like this. Use that node. Oh no, that's for that line. That's for the wrong line. Wrong line, wrong line. How does one do that? I need the full... Oh boy, whatever that's doing is cursed. I'm not going to mess with that. Wait, but those are editing those lines, not the overall... I need the horizontal... I need this line to move. Why is that one all cursed? So going back into this, same settings, click on this one. Nope, not that one. Like, all right, so that there, this needs to be a little bit further in. We're going for like the light part. That is the flat section of this. So why do I get, all right, so it's the, maybe the edit mode. This. Why does it move the internal guys? I'm trying to go for this outside edge. Why do I not get to alter it? Do I need to do rotation on these? I don't know. That's the universal one. I guess that's what I want. That doesn't appear to be doing the right stuff. So point or line. If I click on the line, what do I get to do with that? That's just moving the nodes around. So that's not really editing my curvature. I thought I'd have more control because whatever's happening right here, I don't know what did that. Is it the rotation of this stuff? That just does that. And then if I edit this, it's not editing my outside curve. What are these doing? These do the outside curve, but they only exist on the ends here. This one doesn't have any other types associated that I know of. This one certainly isn't doing it. Where are my control points? I don't understand. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Huh, that's really weird. I do not know what's going on. Okay. So if I were to, these are like moving with the other one. Why is that? It's like a different type of thing. I don't know. Something's messed up. Alex has Googled it. Scanning on a gaming handheld PC. Does it run Windows or do you have to have some hacky stuff to get it to run your own software? At least with the Legion Go, from what I know, the Legion Go comes with Windows 11 on it. I loaded Bazite onto it because that's the recommendation. That's how those handhelds go. You can do whatever you want with a handheld, is typically how they work. Much unlike actual handhelds like Nintendo. I don't understand what's going on with this, with the nodes on this, because like we have tons of control over here. We've got 2 nodes, right? And then over here, we've just got the 1 node, and the 1 node doesn't appear. Oh my God, I'm gonna throw this computer out the window. Over here, it's like I'm trying to edit this on a 2-dimensional plane and get this into sort of like having a plane be offset from our thing. I guess I could like push the vectors into the edge here if I really wanted to. Yeah, and then the other part is I need to do this geometry and get it to be a uniform 1 millimeter off of the plane, which might affect things. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. What do you guys think? Think there's a better way? Like if I pull, well, this is all auto, but I wonder what happens if I click that. It's just going to bonk it down to the surface like that. That one's going to hit the side. So not quite what I wanted. Let's see. I'm just trying stuff. And it's like trying to pull into the object properly. Yeah, it just selects the nearest thing. But it's maybe a way to do it. Oh God, can't even see what I'm selecting. So that's where things are going to get weird, trying to match that plane all the way around. It seems like there should be tools to be able to do that. Never had one. I replaced the screen on Steam Deck for someone. That's the only contact I've had with them. Yeah, so I've only bought the Legion Go because I thought it would be kind of a cool handheld. It's pretty good. I'm okay with it. It's sort of my LAN party cart. I can just cart it back and forth to my friend's house, and I don't have to carry all the equipment. I do bring like a monitor and keyboard with me when I use it, but I've fully jumped into Linux on it. I figured I would just rip the Band-Aid off and see what it's like to use Linux without a backup, Windows boot. So I pretty much threw out that Windows 11 license. But my overall experience using Bazite has been really good. It's been, I haven't found any like huge limitations. It's not a very powerful gaming computer, but it does just as well as the desktop that I could put together for the money probably. I've been using it to play dinky little pixel games, and it's been really, really nice to be kind of portable and open. Everything that I'm doing is just easy to do. It ran Valheim okay, but that was with Windows. I wonder how it'll do with slightly more free piece of software. Something that, Windows 11 not kind of choking it. All right, so I'm still where I was when we did this before. I'm still kind of lost here in sort of the utilization of these tools in order to get things to properly sort of fit together. I don't think the forming tool has really helped me all that much, using the forms instead of like bodies and objects and stuff. I am just as confused. I'm trying to trace along this shape in order to make it into a representation of what should be there solidly. Maybe I could take some cardinal directions and put some lines in there and fit like a curved line to the whole thing if I'm just straight up using Béziers instead of the weird three-dimensional forms. I'm sure this stuff is pretty powerful when you've actually got like a solid associated with it, but I'm having trouble here where I've got sort of internal geometries that are doing stuff that I don't really want it to do. It's just kind of doing weird stuff, and I don't know what the tool is to make it not do weird stuff. Stop being weird. Maybe I need to take this and not split it. Because as I move it into positions, yeah, like that's weird. Weird. It's like about there is where it starts to kind of make sense. It's more like like that. Maybe this needs to move down a little bit. Or up. Okay, wait a minute. Wait just a minute here. Without getting it to droop down. Yeah, maybe I can stretch it into position. It seems like it's going a little better now. And these would be just to kind of line these two up. How would I get that to be? Could you not? Could you maybe correct yourself? Okay, whenever I touch that tool, everything goes awry. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah, I got to click on two separate things in order to coordinate them. Click, grab. Okay, there. That's a little weird, but whatever. Okay, that's for that internal. And that helps the position a little bit. I mean, I guess it's working out. The more I just kind of like stretch things into position. I wonder if there's a tool that'll do this automatically. I don't hate what I'm doing. Careful now. That kind of pokes out a little bit. I don't like that. Oh yeah, and then when I do it, it like stretches the whole face. Everything is affected by it. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of it. I think it's like those outer geometries are affected by basically everything around it. And it probably makes a lot more sense if you've actually got all 4 of the nodes connected. I'm getting a little thin right there. Perhaps you can move this way. But still follow the curve. I'm going to drag it down and around until it fits. This one, I don't know about that one. Little guy right there. Don't worry about that little guy right there. I guess that's working out. You know, fun with stretching nodes all over the place. It is weird how it's kind of pinching and unpinching though. This is a bit of a pinch, although it does match the curvature. Smooth that out a little bit with a node there. Okay. I think it's real close. Yeah, it does kind of get like thicker, but I guess that's just a result of the dimensions of it. Yeah, I think that's pretty good so far. I need to learn Fusion. You and me both. You and me both, my friend. Can I mirror these? Do I have any mirror tools here? Mirror. Oh, I don't want internal. One error could not determine the symmetry from the selectors. Oh, I don't think it likes having just planes. Let's just see. Hold on. No. Stop doing that. This. Duplicate. Selected the T-splines. Mirror plane is this one. And then we want the isometric view. Hey, I got this pretty well in position. It's off by a little bit. Because like here I'm in the open, and here I'm very, very close to the open. So it's not exactly the mirror, but it's very close. It may be near enough as makes no difference. I'm not sure. Although this is kind of bad because that's a separate geometry is going to have to come into that and avoid this thing by a millimeter, the vertical spans. What does it look like from this perspective? Dun dun dun. I mean that's pretty good. I'm okay with this. That's pretty good. So can we make it so let me Control Z the mirror, and then I want to go to this view and go to modify, but the problem is once I touch this, it's going to go haywire. Oh my god, dog's going crazy. Let's select by line. Maybe we can move this whole line into the right position. Bonk. Just give it the tiniest bit of space. Where are we? Okay. Come on back to me. Yeah, this is going to be tough to lay down. All right, try. We'll try. I'm going to try it, though. I am just learning. I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know. I know nothing. I pride myself on that. What happened here? Why is this bowed outwards? It's so weird. Because I moved the one and not the other one that's near it? What in the hell? Why do you move like that? I don't like the way you move. Dun-dun-dun. Let's go into individual nodes. Wait, no, that's the transmit mode. I want that. I want to click on you. You're not giving me any of your vectors. Oh no, that's numeric. We don't want numbers. Okay, so there's that control. Dear God. Move it like who? What? Like a Jaeger? Like those robots that like two dudes need to get into? And then the two dudes need to move the same because it's not good enough that one guy moves a particular way. It's that both of them got to move in the same way for some reason. Like you can't have one set of controls. I have two. I'm gonna have two people operating the robot in a dance of cat and also cat. In an elaborate game of cat and also cat. Okay, so this is kind of the thing to do. Although I did move one of them versus the other, so now this plane is like all crazy. So maybe I shouldn't have moved that other vector that I hit. But I don't know how to edit that anymore. It's like I got to decide on what my tools are immediately and then not mess with them in any other way than what I've known how to do. Because that ruins the flatness of my plane here. So this line needs to go further down this way. So it's like a millimeter off the surface. This may not be the way to do it. I'm starting to see my own doubts. The limitations of the technology. Like, technically, it should be flat on this plane. Oh, God, that didn't do it at all. That wasn't what I wanted. Oh, boy. There are some symmetries and geometries that I just don't know how to operate in this mode. Popular culture reference detected. It's not one that I get. It's okay, though. Like, if I make this as flat as possible on this plane, it will match that surface, supposedly. Because I don't think it tilts, so... Of course, I can't see what I'm doing to the overall symmetry of the line by doing this. Like, that did something I didn't want it to do. Yeah, that's doing all kinds of things. I don't know what's going on here. You know, it is getting close, though. We don't do pop culture around these parts. Some people have credited me with getting every pop culture reference in existence. What parts do we do that around? Oh. private parts. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. There's a little gap in the mirror image right there. It's looking a little weird though. There's some stuff going on with like the way this thing is presenting itself. It's not, oh, that kind of came out of symmetry as well. I don't know if I've fully succeeded in tracing this thing as good as I can make it look. There's something cursed about it. Yeah, see that? It's like bowing up and down when I do that. It's not what I want. Not what I want. It almost feels like I should be tracing it in 2D and then taking those lines into 3D because they're a little bit more simple than the forming modes. And then I could trace the form mode around it, I guess. This one was too recent. Yeah, okay. I have been streaming for several hours and I do not know if anything has happened during my stream. It's also kind of it's kind of nice that nothing has happened during or it's kind of nice being cut off from everything that's been freaking me out lately. Don't stress in out, don't stress in out, stress in out. Don't Pac-Man, living in a level. I don't know the actual lyrics, I just know what I hear. I do that with all kinds of songs. I just listen to the song and then I have some weird kind of phonetic understanding of what the lyrics are that aren't the lyrics. They're not the lyrics. What was the one recently? It was it was a very, very normal like radio song, and I didn't get the lyrics right. It was not Jenny Says. It was oh, Reach Out and Touch Faith. For some reason, I thought that the main refrain on that one was "You're wrong, that's enough, Jesus." Like it was an argument. Like, you're wrong, that's enough, Jesus, I'm done with you. But then the lyrics go, "Someone to be your friend, someone who cares," and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense of the context. And then I saw that being used in a commercial, and the commercial said "your own personal Jesus," and I was like, oh. I was very wrong. It wasn't until 20 years later I learned that I wasn't exactly correct. This is, I mean, like okay, it's off by a little bit still, right? And it's been kind of frustrating to get all the vectors into position, just learning the tools, learning how to operate the tools, learning how to move stuff around. It's been a little bit frustrating, but it has been successful. You know, I could just do, turn that off. I probably should have done that a while ago. Let me put edit form up here. We don't need to see the desk right now. But like, okay, it's been a little bit frustrating getting to know these tools and getting them to kind of function properly. We've been getting there though. And I don't know if my approach is exactly the right approach. I probably could be taking a different approach. Because I was thinking that I could take all of these like object-y things and just trace along this sort of complex geometry that makes up where the airbag should, you know, start and finish. And then I can add stuff to it and kind of push and pull it around in order to make it the right thing. That may be the only way that I'm able to do this. That might be the only way that I'm able to actually do this. Because yeah, it's got to take on some paths here. And it's as simple as it is, it's also very complicated to build the form. So I think I'm going to continue with this, and I'm going to continue, but I'm going to kind of like split it in two up here and go around like that. And I got to get all the way to here, to the center point, to here, to the center point. So I got some work for myself to do. So let's take another hour into this and just start moving around on this thing. And I'll see about like if there are any tools that I could use to maybe simplify or smooth the geometries a little bit. I do want that to be flat. I don't know how to like tell that to be flat. I guess just keep working in the geometries that I'm working in. Whew. Okay, all right. This moves out a little bit. So modify. It's getting easier. That's what it does. That needs to be a longer sweep. Or like one of my other songs that I kept looking for and not being able to find was a song that I used to listen to, and I used to hear it as Destination Now, Reuven, 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 Soho. That's not the lyrics to the song. That's incredibly wrong. I forget what it was, and it made perfect sense once I figured out what the lyrics used to be, like what the real lyrics were. But I just always just had the wrong lyrics in my head. Where did the nodes go for this one? They're gone. Why are they gone? And is there a way to get them back? These questions and more answers. That's 6. A little bit more uniform. That's a little funky. A little funky going on up there. Yeah, on reconsidering the lyrics, I'm like, those fit so much better. Like, now I know the message behind the song. Weird. I lost the geometry nodes on the Bezier nodes on this one. They're gone. Huh, it's very weird. Oh, because they're not flat up against it anymore. There's a 3-dimensional quality to them, and so those are behind, and so I can't see them. Ah, I see, I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right, so we need to add stuff to the end of this, I guess. I wonder how I do that. The way I did it before was by splitting the end and then dragging it up to where it needs to go. I guess that's what I can do. It makes it a little bit weird. I'm going to stand for a minute here. I mean, I guess if I did it with a plane, I could add a plane, create a face. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So first one is going to get us, first one will be our connective tissue. So there and there. Oh, I can't, what the heck? What's going on? Oh, select a plane. I can't select the object? Object snap. There we go. Here we go. Okay, this is working. Why did the tool change? Ugh, there we go. When you're all alone. Oh, actually, you know what? Nope. No! I don't know how to cancel within the tool. Okay, so we create a face. This one, why did that get weird? We'll go, oh, this would have been so much better if I did this from the start with object snap. Oh, nope, that was the wrong thing. All right, back to this one. Oh, what happened there? Oh, because I added a face to it, it made this go crazy. Huh. Like, I mean, I guess I can trace it on the surface, and then I can pull it up above the surface when I'm done. So I should have been doing this from the beginning. I could have, all that work that went into positioning and massaging those nodes could have been done down on the surface, and then I could have maybe taken the whole thing and moved it in one singular direction to sort of move it off of the surface. Which I think is what I'm going to do. So the past 2.5 hours of work, donk, gone. Just gone. It's just gone. It's gone. We don't have it anymore. So what I'm going to do is start with the face tool, and I'm going to object snap, and then how can I lock it in vertical or horizontal? This is what, listen, this is called learning. This is learning CAD. That's how you do it. Sometimes you got to throw away a significant amount of work, and the sooner you can free yourself from your own limitations and learn to embrace how horrible it is to delete something like that, the sooner you can grow and expand your talents. So I'm going to use object snap. This is going to be a little rougher on the edges over here, but I can take one and then give it a little bit of offset from that and just go over like that. And once it starts curving away, well, I don't necessarily, well, okay, maybe we could simplify it later. If I take the 4 that are just following the light pattern, and then I can take that, bring it out here until it starts to move away from the curve a little too much. Although that one is actually too close. So let's try again. If we're following the light, I don't know if the light is changing because this thing is changing. Because it seems a little far away at sometimes. Or if I get rid of the lighting conditions in the view settings. I could probably edit the opacity on it. Yeah, seeing through it is not a huge advantage here, though. Let's undo that. Let's just bring it back in that way. I wonder if using the scan, a copy, and strip away all the data points you don't need, would that give you the shape you want? It might. It would be a little bit too rough because we've got so many triangles representing these points. I am using this as a datum because what I can do is come in here from the human perspective and I can match like the things I see, the curves that I see that run along the edge here. That's what's been torturing me about this the whole time, because like a friend of mine was like, just take a couple pictures of it and I can make it. Look, I want to break this apart myself, and what I want to do is look at, reverse engineer the process, right? I want to reverse engineer what somebody saw in this shape and the curves that they brought to this shape. And that's kind of jumping the gun for me a little bit, because that's making something that's very highly engineered from somebody who's not really knowledgeable about the engineering. It's a thing. Like, what's going on up here? There's like a couple different things that are meeting together. And I can see a nice sweeping geometry coming up along the back here. All right, so we're gonna make a bunch of faces then. Snap to object. 1, 2. Take it to here. Because it can all be massaged later on. Not seeing the nodes is a little bit annoying because I need it to snap to the ends of these. There we go. Yeah, like that's going to make it rough, but I think what I can do is use some of the tools here in order to smooth it out. I think. I don't know. Maybe this is not the best way to do it. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, the people doing this are professionals and I'm not. So that's sort of my disadvantage, is that I don't know what I'm doing here. And there's probably a good way to do this. There's probably like a practiced way that I should be putting together these geometries. But as far as I know, the tools that I have, this is my best solution, is to just do it janky and learn the tools as I'm going along. That's that's that whole destruction of all of my work, is that I can try the new method now because I've deleted the old one. I'm not going to stick with that bad way of doing things until, yeah. Anyway, not to be too philosophical about the whole thing. The difference is they got paid for it. Well, I mean, that we're free in that sense. We can do what we want. We can spend a lot of time on it if we really want to. I wonder if I took like a course on this, if it would be a little bit more revealing. I tried to look up some videos on, working with the this mode, I didn't really find too much. I wasn't probably looking hard enough. For I am free. I'll take it to like here, here, and back. That's a bit of a cut. I could add a triangle here. It's supposed to be 4 points, so yeah, it's good enough. 1, 2, put it out here, and this one there to there, and then close it up. It'll make sense later. There, there. See, this is what I did in Blender with 3 points. This is doing it with 4. And this is also snapping it to the object. So like here, that's going to require more stuff. So let's give it a nice thin one. And that needs to be along this line that I can't see. That's not going to close it in because it's not snapping to the vector. And if I were to take that point, I mean, I could go out here, but I don't think that's going to work. What did I do? Let's see what I did. Yeah, see, that's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. Oh, if I control Z, is it going to only undo the one, or is it going to do all of them? Only the one. Okay. That was close. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to match. I got to come up along here. Well, maybe I can just do it from here. Okay, so take that. Take that. Go from this corner here. Oh, see, are those not aligned? I guess I'm gonna have to fix that later. Okay, there. We come up to here. We come just a little bit over. I don't want to give that too many, actually. Do like, well, they're quads, so that they should be matching up to all of themselves. So we'll go here. Uh-oh. Nope. Back myself into a corner. I'm thinking in triangles. We are quads. We have 4 points. So if I do there, then I have to come out to here, and then I go to there. Why did it, what just happened? Did I click weird? Oh, not snap to object. That's what's going on. I didn't snap to the right thing. Okay, so if that plane comes up like that, I'm going to give it the ability to curve. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. No, I'm not going to give it a curve. We're going to just give it like a raw cut. There's like a triangle over there that maybe I could utilize, but oh no, it's the wrong order. They're color-coded for a reason. Squares are just 2 triangles together. Yeah, they are. It's, you know, doing this with meshes is a lot easier. I haven't worked with these a lot, so it's kind of hard to like, it's hard to like actualize what these are coming through as. That's why I keep messing up. There to there, and now we go up. Well, it needs 4. Where did that one end up? Why is it under the surface? It's crazy. See, and I'm just going to build it up that way. And eventually I'll be able to like move it away and smooth it. Right now, this is just going to be my approximation of what this whole thing is. I think that may be a way to do it. It's maybe not the way to do it, but it is a way to do it. And if I keep snapping it to the surface, then I should get a pretty good approximation of what the shape should be in so many vectors. Not vectors, quads. That's keeping away from it a little bit. Although I can keep moving along because I know that that's going to have to be like a bevel of some kind, I think. I don't know what I'm doing, chat. I don't know the implications of what I'm doing. I don't know what this cruel reality is for this. Having an existential crisis. It needs more cowbell. These little movement nodes. Got to click off of the object in order to do that move. That's where probably the space mouse would be most handy. I feel like there should be a tool for doing this where I can like highlight it and then create like a fusion body out of it. I mean, I could take it directly too. I mean, I could highlight the whole thing, select it as a mesh, and then maybe isolate it and turn that into what I'm trying to do here with these. But I think the simplicity of what I have going on is that's the goal. But this is kind of directly tracing it though. I don't know. I don't know if this is what I'm really going for. I may have to rethink my methodology again. Oh, that was the wrong thing. I didn't want that. Nope. Reopen the tool. Have to redo the object snap click. Nah. What I'm hoping is that when I lift this like a millimeter, it'll line up a little better. It'll make more sense. Here to there, over to here. This is very exciting work that we're doing today. What in the hell is going on up here? That's what I'm wondering. What in the hell is going on up here? How can I functionally make... I think I could just gloss over whatever the heck's going on there. Because like these I can follow this line with. Take that. See, just like that. And move this up and over. But this I don't want to deal with. This is like way... Okay, come back. This is like way behind everything. What the... I have no idea what I'm talking about, but doesn't Fusion do what you're doing? And then when inserting a mesh, haven't used Fusion in so long, I forget what it's called, like unsubdivide. Yeah, maybe there is something that does this. I mean, I've inserted this mesh. I could work with this mesh in order to reduce the complexity of it. I was going to use, what I'm doing is I'm putting quads down, because then I can use the quads tools in order to like smooth things out and create the smooth geometries that I want. We tried using the quads and editing the vectors of the quads in order to make them kind of curve around the shape that I want it to curve around, but I've had a little trouble doing that. I guess reducing the complexity of the triangles, and then I could convert it into quads from there. That might be a way to... let's take a break and try that. Because I mean, this has gone pretty well so far. I can come back to that method. But what I could do is take the original one. Let's get rid of that, get rid of that. Take this one, and then I can simplify it incredibly. So if we get out a form tool, so finish form. Oh, maybe I don't want a T-spline model failed to convert. Oh, I see. So as long as I've got T-splines, that's what they are, T-splines. As long as I have T-splines active, I can't get out of this mode. Why not? Wait a minute, why not? I want to go back and do it. Let's return. Close. Continue. There we go. Okay, so it'll just be, okay, so I might have just thrown out all that work. I might have just thrown out all that work. Oh, well. Okay, so yeah, going back to this and going to mesh tools. So for this, yeah, direct edit, reduce, and remesh, and then I can lower the number of triangles of the thing. I was hoping to go through with Bezier curves and have sort of a more informed three-dimensional thing defined. Actually, reducing the number of triangles is going to be detrimental to what little I have of this line here. And I guess if I took, well, okay, so let's get rid of all the stuff that I don't want. Let's try that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to tessellate it. No, tessellation is what you do to the Fusion solid. I'm going to generate face groups on this. I don't think I need to do that, actually. No, that's not what I need to do. I think I can just go through with the mesh painting tools. So the painting tools, those are... Where's the mesh editing tool? Yeah, here we go. Now we're in paint mode once you go into edit feature. Well, what I can do now is I can get rid of areas that I select with the mesh paintbrush. Oh my goodness, somebody rang the doorbell. Don't ring the doorbell here. The problem is I can only select them on their normal. But this way I can reduce the amount of mesh noise that I got sitting around here. The paintbrush is too big for that. That's a really sensitive scroll bar. I don't like that. Hold on. I'm going to Control Z that one. I do not want to select individual triangles. Modify selection. Oh, here we go. Select back faces. Problem is I can't like select it by geometry. That would be very useful. I do want there to be a little bit of that left over. I guess I just have to kind of paint through like this. This is a really clunky way to do it. That is not right. Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out. How do I make my brush slightly larger? Oh, here we go. Scroll wheel. Nope, that makes it. So the difference between sizes of one scroll wheel is one triangle or a billion triangles. What in the hell? Fusion, what are you doing? How many triangles do you think I'm working with here? I am oh bother, I'm not like a whole company that has a 3D scan with 70 bajillion Why even show the triangle with a line weight if your first paint tool size is this? This is broken. This is a broken feature. And then not showing the painting tool when it's not touching an object is also particularly cursed, because it doesn't allow me to properly paint the lines. These are sort of very clunky tools in Fusion. They're not as refined as I would like them to be. I remember when I was editing the mesh on the stick shift, I was able to get it to do like 5 triangles at a time. I was able to get it not to be cursed. This is completely cursed. They must have broken something, or I have something that's misconfigured, maybe. It might be on my end, but I mean, that scroll bar, like, where is selecting the size of Rhode Island going to be useful? We can get this down from 1,000,000 vectors. 1,000,000 triangles. I specifically told this thing not to buzz if there was motion of the garage. And yet it still is doing it. Okay. We don't really need this side. Shift and scroll. I'll try. Yeah, see, I can't get in there. And that's going to cut it too much. Control Z. I selected too much at a time. Yoink. Shift scroll. Alt scroll. No. Control scroll on this. Shift on it? No. Alt on it? Alt shift. No. Control. No. Shift. Alt. No, I don't think so. This is like an enormous selection area that selects like half of the sun. Come on. Come on, little guy. You're right there. No. There. Got you. Yeah, it's like go big or go home. I don't know what the deal is. And then you can't select stuff, so I can't like get up to this edge with this same tool. It just goes crazy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to simplify this once I get all the excess cut out. And see what we end up with. Because then I could convert it to quads. I could get the stuff out of it that I need and convert it to quads. But I don't think this is going to go as well as I think people are thinking it will. I'd love to cut that out, but I don't know if I should. I think my method of putting the planes down is probably the best thing. Barring any input from people who are professional at CAD and know how to do this stuff. And it might just be easier for me to do an inside and outside line and then use those to inform where the planes should be. Is that something I should be deleting? What is that? Oh, yeah, I don't need all of that. Some of it certainly, but not all of it. Get the little floaties that are left over. And I can't really get close to this stuff. I want to get rid of that little, there's a little piece of that, but it goes over the edge, and I need it. I need this edge, the front of that edge at least. All right, let's see what simplifying this will do. This little toilet bowl that I've got. Man, that would be a comfortable toilet. All right, so I'm going to finish direct editing. I'm going to select the mesh, and then I'm going to remesh with a density that is super duper dense. No, I want it undense. Sharp edges. Is that going to kill my computer? Do I want it to be highly dense or low density? I want it to be low density. So remeshing does sort of more organized fusion style triangles. What if I convert this to quads? Smooth, reverse normal. Convert it to, that would be to a fusion solid. You need to close it in order to convert it to a fusion solid. And you can do that with face groups. That's essentially what Fusion uses. I don't know. I don't know, guys. So I guess we could just remesh and see what happens. Or reduce. Let's reduce. An adaptive reduction. We're going face count. Zero. Let's see if we can do it in 10,000 faces. Some things were lost. Some things were lost. But it did reduce them pretty significantly. And it gives us a flatter surface. I don't know if this is the solution. I don't know if I agree with this. I think it's better that I reverse engineer the elements of it. So I'm going to learn more about that. I mean, we're at 4 o'clock. I think I'm ready to call it as a stream. What did we learn today? We learned about limitations and the need for doing homework. Because I think I'm better off plopping down a bunch of faces in the form editing tool, because they will be more informed and they'll be more uniform and all that stuff. But I can't do individual lines in the forming tool, so I might have to surround the thing with the inner and outer shell of what I want, and then maybe I can use those lines to inform where the faces should be, and possibly use forms from there to kind of fill in the rest. I don't know. Learning what not to do is more important sometimes. I don't understand, because the form-fitting tools seem like such incredibly powerful tools. Oh, I see. That's a saved T-spline. These seem like really powerful tools, and the things that I see designed in these tools look amazing, right? They look, you know, like a car body and stuff. So I need to maybe look through a form editing tutorial, and maybe that'll give me a couple more ideas of what I should do. This is basically how I learned to work with the meshes too. So it's the same process of scratching your head and then coming back to it later. Okay, well, until next time, I guess I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I might switch topics. We might work on Burn the Subs, since it's more of like a Friday thing, and I can be a little bit more on camera and all that stuff. Let's go back over to here. Go back over to the face cam. I moved it over to the side. It's not my good angle. Oh, now this is loose. Come on. My camera equipment just not be high maintenance for a day? Just a day of being low maintenance? Will that kill you, camera equipment? Loosen this just to turn this a little bit. Put that back. There we go. That loosens it again. God damn it. Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Here, let me put up an end card. We got our little end thing. I mean, I learned a lot. Whoa, that was in caps. I yelled. Why is my bitrate so low? That's actually at 6,000. Thank you guys. I mean, I appreciate all the subs and stuff like that. We didn't have any raids today, right? I didn't miss a raid. No. We had a message effect and 2 subs. Yeah, things are kind of quiet around here. I need to work on getting people in here for the streams, but thank you guys that were here. Thank you folks that were here. I really appreciate all you watching out. I'm not going to do any raids today. We're just going to end. And then tomorrow we're going to come back and maybe do wiring. I don't know. We'll just chill out and just have a good time doing it. I will catch you all later. Have a good one. And I need to hit the stop button somehow. Maybe we'll just do the usual thing where I go to technical issue.